America's 250th birthday celebration. This is America Show Sports Weekly's special edition of We Celebrate America. And now, we welcome to the stage Isaiah Leung and James Gonzalez. What's up, everybody, and happy early July 4th and happy early 250th birthday to the United States of America. What is going on? I hope all of you guys are doing extremely well right now. This is America's show, and of course, you all know that for America's 250th birthday, to celebrate the legendary milestone birthday of this nation, we had to bring it big. So, of course, we've got a jam-packed show for you guys tonight. We've got lots of stuff going off in the NBA and, the NHL and free agency. I mean, it's a whole different landscape now in the NBA. It's a whole different landscape in the NHL. We've got baseballs, managers getting fired, GMs getting fired, brawls happening left and right. Where else do you want to be on this Thursday night than be on here watching Sports Weekly, aka America's favorite TV show? If you guys like what you guys are seeing, if you guys like what you're watching, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Share this video everywhere. Comment down below in the comment section, and I'll do my best to read your comments live on the air. My guy James is not here yet. I think he's taking the bus going home or something, but he's running a little bit late, so we're gonna hold down the fort without him for the time being. But we got a lot of great stuff to get into, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be an amazing show. There's a reason why I'm wearing this shirt. There's a reason why I will put on another shirt after that. So buckle up, grab your hot dogs, grab your sodas, and tune in. It's going to be an exciting, exciting show. But first, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, smash that subscribe button, like down below if you guys like what you guys are watching. All right, and let's change it up a little bit. We were going to start with the NBA, but I want to wait for my guy James Gonzalez to get in here for the time being. We are going to start off with the NHL. We're going to get into the ice world, ladies and gentlemen. And let me just say this, folks, to all the people that are watching. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Good evening, Casey. How are you doing tonight? Hopefully you are doing well. But let's start in the ice world, where NHL free agency is absolutely buzzing right now. NHL free agency is absolutely going nuts. You've had some crazy moves go down left and right thus far here on the first day and a half of NHL free agency, including my San Jose Sharks loading up for the playoff run for this upcoming season, and finding Macklin Celebrini some brand new teammates. We had an amazing draft, right? We loaded up in the draft. We drafted Avar Stenberg to pair him with Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith. And then we went out and got Keaton Verhoff, who fell right into our lap. And then we ended up getting Ryan Lynn, another defenseman, who was one of the top 15 players that were supposed to be picked, but instead he fell all the way to 21 because a lot of these teams in the NHL, you don't know what's going on in their brain. I mean, you talk about insane in the membrane. That's right there is rest of the teams in the NHL. I mean, how do you not draft a kid who's very talented? Who cares if he's short? He's short. Okay, so what? Can he play? Yes, he can. And Ryan Lynn can absolutely play. And thank you so much to the rest of the NHL for not drafting him, because he landed right in San Jose. Ladies and gentlemen, right here, look at this picture. The draft for the Sharks was like something coming out of Disneyland. It was like something coming out of a Disney movie. That's how great it was for the San Jose Sharks. Getting these three guys to go with our already insane young core. Just a trifecta of awesomeness that draft was for Mike Grier and the San Jose Sharks. But the San Jose Sharks did a lot to kick off free agency amongst the other moves that were made in NHL free agency thus far. The San Jose Sharks, ladies and gentlemen, started it off with the bang. They went out and they signed Mason Marchment, one of the star forwards in this free agency. He signed him to a 5-year contract, a big deal for Mason Marchment, signing with San Jose here. And then the Sharks went out after that. They got Jacob Trouba from the Anaheim Ducks. Thank you so much, Anaheim, for giving the Sharks and helping our blue line very much. Appreciate that. And then last but not least, the San Jose Sharks traded for Darnell Nurse from the Edmonton Oilers. Amongst the other moves that were made, you have the Toronto Maple Leafs taking Sergei Bobrovsky from the Florida Panthers, 3-year, $21 million contract, a little bit less than I thought he was going to get, actually. I mean, I thought he was going to get maybe a 2-year, $14 million contract, maybe $10 million. But he settles for a 3-year, $21 million contract. The Utah Mammoth getting flipping Sean Durzi and Cole Boldon to the New York Rangers to land Vincent Trocheck, a top 6 center in the National Hockey League. John Carlson, he was supposed to go, I believe, to Colorado. Anaheim traded away his rights to Colorado. Instead, he ends up signing with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So they didn't get much out of that. The New York Rangers staying aggressive. They traded a 2030 first-round pick to the Vancouver Canucks to get Marcus Peterson. And then we've got some other news that we'll get into before this segment ends and we get James onto the program. Folks, I want you to take whatever drink you have right now and a toast. We got some Teal juice right here, or Sharks juice, whatever you call it. This is the Capri Sun Pacific Cooler. We don't want to drink alcohol live on the program. Folks, it's July 4th. We can bring out the booze right here. A toast, ladies and gentlemen. What an offseason for the San Jose Sharks. And I want you guys to check out a little video that I put together yesterday. This is going to be a little bit of a long one, so make sure you guys just grab your popcorn, whatever you have, and tune in, because I was certainly very hyped yesterday for San Jose Sharks proved one thing. We are a destination. We are a place that players gravitate to and want to come to. We are a destination in hockey. Oh boy, have I longed for that day, and it is here, baby. All the stars see what we're building with Macklin, with Stenberg, Smitty, Mesa, the bright future. They know we're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the next decade. This is the team. Everybody's coming. Darnell Nurse wanted to come here. He expanded his trade list to San Jose. Marchment wanted to come here. Trouba wanted to leave Anaheim, who just made the playoffs, for here. Everybody wants to come here, or wanted to come here. San Jose has become a destination. We have become a freaking destination. Boy, have I longed for this day. You know, I've been through 3-0, the choke. I've been through the times when we won the President's Cup, had a great regular season, and choked in the playoffs. I've been to the times when we lost to Sidney Crosby and the Penguins in the Stanley Cup Finals after finally breaking through and getting there. I've been through the times when we were supposed to get the #1 pick, the year we were supposed to get Bedard but got hosed. I never thought that one day the Sharks would be the premier franchise of the NHL. I've longed for that day. But it all changed when Macklin Celebrini got delivered to us. That saved our franchise. And from then on, it's been up, up, up since then. How about them Sharks? We are the destination of hockey. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Sorry, I was muted a little bit. All right, let me get into the Sharks portion of free agency before we get into all the other stuff. The Mike Grier followed that incredible one for the ages, spectacular draft with an amazing free agency. I mean, you start with Mason Marchment. This guy was the top winger available in free agency, and he comes to San Jose. Yes, you paid him a premium 5-year contract, but hey, you gotta pay up to get talent. And so, this group right now is close to making the playoffs. They're extremely close to making the playoffs. All you just need is some veteran reinforcements, and getting Marchment would definitely help with Celebrini, with Misa, with Graf and Smith and Stenberg, who had a goal today in development camp. He looked extremely good. You add him to Kiefer Sherwood and all that talent. I mean, this is going to be the best offense in the National Hockey League. I mean, we're going to score 8 to 9 goals a game. Like, we are going to be the Showtime Lakers on ice. That is how incredible this offense is, because you cannot zone in on Celebrini because you got Smith, you got Graf, you got Misa, you got all these guys out there. You can't zoom in on like 2 or 3 of these guys because anybody of these guys could kill you. So Mason Marchment coming to San Jose is incredible. He's also going to be a physical force to help the team, help some of these young guys that are going to be getting, bullied by the opponents that are going to try to target them. Jacob Trouba, that is a great move for the Sharks. Yes, I know they paid him 4 years, $8 million a year. But look, like I said, you got to pay up to get talent. And to get him from Anaheim, you had to pay a premium to get him. Your blue line absolutely sucked last year. I mean, if myself, James Gonzalez, Callum McClurg, and Casey King were all on the ice, we probably could have scored against that Sharks blue line. That's how pathetic they were last year. So you needed to reinforce that. Your blue line was awful. That kept you out of the playoffs last season. Well, Jacob Trouba was fantastic for Anaheim. He's a fantastic heavy hitter. He's a great defender. He's a guy that will be able to kill power plays. I like that move a lot, not just because you get talent, but in the meantime, you go out there and you weaken an opponent that's going to be a thorn in your side for years and years to come. So I love the move of getting Jacob Trouba away from Anaheim. And last but not least, I know I said that absolutely not Darnell Nurse. Do not get Darnell Nurse. I told my guys Callum McClurg and James Gonzalez, if the San Jose Sharks went out as hockey Christmas, aka NHL free agency, was about to begin, I said, please God, let me not wake up to Darnell Nurse being a San Jose Shark. And unfortunately, the rumors were true, and he did. The Sharks sent Shakir Mukhamadullin, see, I got his name right, to Edmonton, and also Zach Sharp to Edmonton as well. Initially, I hated the trade just because I was like, dude, the guy's 34. He's only got like a couple of years left in his prime. Like, he's way past the age point of our young group that we're building right now in San Jose. Like, yes, he could help us this year, but I don't want to be stuck with that contract. I don't want to have to give up premium draft picks to get him. So when the trade went down, I was like, oh crap, Mike Grier. This might be the first time I was like, Mike Grier, are you sure? Are you sure this is the move? Are you sure? Because like, you let Edmonton off the hook. You take the entire contract. There's no salary retention. You send out Shakir Mukhamadullin and you send out Zach Sharp. Are you sure? But let me just say this. as I kept talking about the trade more and more and more, I kept talking myself into it. Number one, is the contract great for Darnell Nurse? No. You're going to pay him a lot of money for the next 4 years. But I think what's really going to help is you have these two prized defenseman prospects, Keaton Verhoff and Ryan Leung, who will be absolute studs and superstars in this league. But it's going to take them a while to grow and get into what I think they're capable of. I know myself and Callum McClure talked about it. They're probably going to start out in college or the AHL. So I think that with 4 years, right, you're going to be able to allow these young kids to not be rushed into the NHL right away, and like they can just develop and get seasoned. And then when the Nurse contract expires, then that's when you have that seamless transition from a Jacob Trouba and a Darnell Nurse, who's going to be, those contracts will be expiring at the same time. They will expire right when I think that Ryan Leung and Keaton Verhoff will be getting into the NHL. So it'll be a seamless transition, and they'll be fully seasoned and fully developed. It will also help your young defenseman, Sam Dickinson, out because he wasn't the best last year. He needs that mentorship to get to his potential. So I think it helps in that standpoint. It definitely helps your blue line for next season. So it helps you win now. Jacob Trouba and Darnell Nurse with that blue line, it definitely helps you next season. And let's talk about what we give up. Zach Sharp, I'm sorry, he wasn't going to be an impact player in San Jose because we had so many forwards and centers that were just so potent and so impactful, like Celebrini, Smith, Graf, Misa, Chernyshov, to name a few. He was way farther and farther down the totem pole. He wasn't going to make an impact here. So sending him out, not really that disappointed by it. I know a lot of Shark fans are mad at the Shakir Mukhamadullin going to Edmonton. For me, I'm really not. And the reason being is because Shakir Mukhamadullin seemingly fell out of favor in San Jose. He was benched a number of times by Ryan Warsofsky, the head coach. His role diminished time after time after time. It got so bad that he was so unhappy that mid-season, I mean, there were rumors he requested a trade. I mean, now, is those rumors true or not? I don't know. But those rumors seem like, they were true. And he's always hurt. So sending him out to Edmonton gives him a fresh start. I don't think he was part of the Sharks' future anymore. Sadly, he was getting phased out of it. And so now that I've talked about it a lot more, I'm like, okay, it's not that bad of a trade. Would I have made it? Probably not. But also, you guys got to keep into account the salary cap in the NHL is going to rise and rise and rise again in the coming years. So are the contracts going to seem bad for Trouba and for Marchment and also for Darnell Nurse in maybe like 2 or 3 years down the line? Maybe, but the salary cap is rising. It helps you win now. It helps you get, your youngsters some mentorship and some development and guys that or veterans that can help them out in right now. And when those guys are past their primes, you get rid of them. The youngsters are ready and they take over. So looking at this offseason thus far, I know we got a lot of comments, but looking at the offseason, I love the moves for San Jose. I didn't think I was going to love it today when I saw it yesterday, but it's not bad. It's not bad of a move. I would give the Nurse trade, it's slowly growing on me, but hey, San Jose set up themselves to win now, to win in the future, and they weakened our opponents and our rivals moving forward. So we checked all 3 boxes. We killed 3 birds with 1 stone. It was a great day yesterday in San Jose. And also, like I said in that video, the San Jose Sharks, they proved if you don't like the moves, that's fine. But they proved one thing loud and clear with the moves they made yesterday. The San Jose Sharks are now a destination in the NHL. We are a team that everybody wants to come play for. All the stars, Bedard, McDavid, Marchment, come on over. They all want to come to San Jose. Darnell Nurse yesterday didn't have the Sharks on his list of teams that he wanted to get traded to until he did more research and said, damn, I'm missing out. Let me come over too. Would he have done that maybe a couple years ago? Hell no. But now San Jose, because of number 71, the guy on the back of my jersey, he has made us into a destination and a premier franchise in the National Hockey League. And boy, have I longed for that day. Been through all the BS, and now the gold is falling our favor. So, a toast. How about them Sharks, baby? All right. Getting that out of the way. I see him in the studio. He's looking at me with maybe a death stare right here. But Callum McClure, we've done a couple hockey shows together, so he knows my stance on all the stuff that I talked about. But Cal, I'm gonna welcome him in. Callan, how's it going tonight, man?
Gloating about a team with the 18th best Stanley Cup odds per Vegas. Really, dude? Overpaying for Jacob Trouba, who was a free agent. He wasn't given to you by Anaheim, and the guy can't kill penalties. Anaheim being linked to Jason Robertson and Robert Thomas. Really, dude?
You guys were linked to Darnell Nurse too.
I didn't want him.
I didn't want him either originally.
I'll have fun overpaying for him too.
But Callan, now that you're on this show, as we wait for James, I think James was having some tech issues, or he was getting on the bus, or he was on the bus going home.
Yeah, also, by the way, John Carlson went to Carolina and said he's never coming back to the West Coast. That's why he went to Tampa Bay.
Right. So essentially, Carolina basically got nothing then out of that.
Yeah, we got a guy, and then we traded him back to Carolina for money. So there you go.
But you look at all the moves that's going on in the NHL. You heard what I had to say about the Sharks. You don't need to get into the Sharks if you don't want to. I don't think
great and all, but again, you've got the 18th best odds to make the postseason or to win the damn championship, sir. It's not going to happen overnight.
No, and nobody is expecting Stanley Cup.
You sure as hell are. Don't give me that shit.
What? All right, Callan, I need an outside.
You still got to jump through Vegas. You have to jump through McDavid and Edmonton. You have to go through SoCal as well in Anaheim and LA, believe it or not, regardless of what they've done so far. And Colorado and Dallas is still out there too.
Callan, I was going to ask you, you don't have anything to say about me calling the Sharks a destination, right? There's nothing you need to add about that.
An aggressive GM who's trying to act like AJ Preller when it comes to spending money on players. Is it going to work right away? No. Will it work in 2 years? Maybe. Even then, the Western Conference, Isaiah, is still too damn loaded right now with where things stand. So pump the brakes.
For all those Sharks fans out there that are freaking out about, oh my God, we're stuck with Darnell Nurse for the next 4 years. What's your honest opinion on that trade? Because I know you sent that to the group chat yesterday. I woke up, I saw it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I went back to sleep thinking I was going to wake up from that nightmare, but nope, it didn't happen. But what was your thoughts on that move?
I'm calling this move and the Trouba signing a proceed with caution, because I don't know how this really. Sure, the veteran leadership helps. I mean, I think of that though when they got Ryan Reeves last season as like that veteran enforcer, just that veteran presence. These two, though, I feel like it is a definite proceed with caution. What I would like to see Warsofsky do. This is what Anaheim had success with last season. You've got all these young kids. You've got to pair Trouba and or Nurse with one of these young kids on the blue line. That's what made Anaheim successful last season when they had Lacombe working with Gudas, for example. They linked up Zellweger or somebody else with Trouba, vice versa with the top two defensive pairings. You would have to, I think, look at that way, though. The only concerns I have, though, Isaiah, is that Nurse is getting up there in age. He's bound to do something dumb and get either suspended for something stupid or he, falls apart, though, at the worst possible time. And he's not really been effective from what I've seen from the past couple seasons scoring-wise. I'll go and pull up his hockey reference page here in a second to kind of see where the numbers have gone. over the last several years. I mean, this is going to be year 11 for him in the league, though, 324 career points. But, I mean, Isaiah, the trade, though, for a guy that only has 24 points last year and is minus 12, and he got that contract for 4 years going forward because the Oilers got underneath from out of it, that one is a definite proceed with caution. And then if you look at Trouba's numbers throughout his whole career, I think he's been a bit more consistent. He had 35 points and missed one game last year in Anaheim and was also really great on the in the postseason. But I feel like, though, man, it's a bit of an overpay, though. I mean, I know that Trouba had a 50-point breakout year in 18 and 19, but the last couple of years, though, 6 points at one point in New York, 8 points he had 14 points combined in the 24-25 season. I know he's a year younger than I am, but 25 points last season or 35 points last season. I mean, not terrible getting back to kind of where he's at usually for steadiness. But I still think it's a bit of an overreach, though, especially when you're just trying your hardest to get a lot of these kids time to play. And I know that you were saying that you were, blessing by fire. Maybe that this is a move that does help him out, but I still think, Isaiah, that this is still another year or two away. I mean, maybe, again, I think that they're going to be at least a wild card team. I think Anaheim's going to be, another wild card team, maybe third if they're lucky like this past season. But any expectations of going to the Cup right away over the next couple of years have got to be put on hold for right now until you get all these guys on the same page.
I mean, that's why I'm not expecting a Stanley Cup next year.
The way that you keep talking, though, it sure sounds like it, man.
Hey, in the next couple of years, yeah, there'll be a dynasty in San Jose.
And when it doesn't happen, what are you going to say? I think Carolina wants to work with you. I think Florida wants to work with you. I think Colorado does, and so does Dallas, Toronto, Anaheim, LA. I don't know.
Well, I think LA. I think LA is going to. I think they're going to start rebuilding probably in the next couple of years. I don't think that team is old, dude. Like they're just like stubbornly sticking in mediocrity for no reason. But speaking of the rest of the NHL, do you want to talk about your Ducks free agency? What have they done so far? I don't think they've really done anything notable.
Well, they're not, because a lot of the reports that came out, and I think I shared this with you today, is that there's a chance of Leo Carlsson being offer sheeted, which doesn't really mean a whole lot because Anaheim has the most salary cap. The signs that they have made, though, have been very much small deals for small amounts of money. Mainly, though, like I told you, Isaiah, they're trying to fill voids down here in San Diego with the American League pipeline, which has been kind of dry. They made, they made 4 moves with my team down here. And this is nothing new, Isaiah, that Anaheim doesn't strike in the first couple days, and I think that's been Pat Verbeek's MO. I won't go too far in depth, but he has long always believed, let San Jose, do all this, let everyone else do this. And, I'll just kind of cook my own thing. The main priority is that they're going to be able to give both Cutter Gauthier and Leo Carlsson and probably Pavel Menchikov big money deals. What I think is happening right now, from what I've been hearing from Elliot Friedman and reading the tea leaves, they're waiting for other shoes to fall when it comes to players in the same draft class as Carlsson, like Bedard maybe getting X amount of money from Chicago. That will dictate, I think, how much they spend out, though. So, and even then, the offer sheet ordeal, Anaheim can easily block that and, overpay, this. So Pat Verbeek, I know it's not a very conventional way with how he operates, but it's effective. I mean, yes, have they dealt away a lot of, rising stars like McTavish and Zegras and Drysdale? Sure. They got him back into the playoffs this past year. 43 wins with having Quenneville being the head coach. So I know a lot of people are, trying to, put this thing here, put this here, put that thing here. They'll get those deals done. But I think that they are going to try to take a swing and maybe get a Jason Robertson, maybe go after Robert Thomas from St. Louis. That it just feels to me that you don't make that McTavish move, though, for those 2 first-round picks to not go and take the big swing. And I think that will start, though, with the Carlsson re-upped, which again, if you are a RFA, that team has negotiating rights with you all the way through the process. So, I mean, you can be offered, a contract from somebody, but the other team gets to counter that move, basically. So I don't see those two going anywhere. I'm sure that they're just waiting for the right price to come about. It's probably, what it's going to boil down to, probably money and how many years. That's why I think Anaheim didn't retain Trouba, because him and Trouba wanted long-term deals, Isaiah. That's what, in a way, can set a team back like what the Sharks are trying to build. But you give a guy like that, though, at that age, though, 31, 35 years old or whatever it is, But Pat Verbeek didn't want to do that with these free agents, with Carlson, John Carlson, that is, or with Trouba, to not give the aging veterans in a way, especially Radko Gudas, who missed time with a foot injury last year. They didn't want to get burned with a long-term deal, despite what the AAV might be. Now, yes, the cap is going up, ever so slowly. But even then, 6 years for Gudas going back to Florida, no thanks. Trouba going to San Jose for what he got, no thanks. Losing whoever else that they lost to, very much small free agent deals. I'm not losing sleep over it. I mean, yes, I probably could, but there is, I think, something out there coming. And, for a team that won 43 games, will it be maybe a small step in regression? Sure. The division is going to be up there for the taking between what Vegas has, look at the whole division. Look at what Vegas has done. Look at what Edmonton's done. Look at what Anaheim's done. Look at what LA's done. Look at what everybody in the division has done in some capacity, across the board. Now, don't be doing this. You can shrug on this and do all this other, Gen Z BS later, but at the end of the day, Isaiah, that there's something coming eventually. But I think it will start, though, with that they're going to be building this team around Carlson and Gauthier, with how they both had breakout years. And they both have had great seasons. Leo missed some time where he had a very weird growth on his thigh that happened right after the All-Star or the Olympic break, and he missed a couple of weeks and came back. So you have that. You're going to build off a second year for Seneca. You're going to build off of what Dostal did in goal this past season, and build off of, even with Troy Terry not being healthy because he had labrum surgery on his hip. When he comes back, it'll take some time. But I still like the group the group that they have, though. I would rather them be smart. If you have to make a move like what they did, though, with Zellweger and McTavish, do it. If it's for the betterment, though, of more money to give to Leo and Cutter, I'm fine with it. They've already re-upped Dostal. They've re-upped Paling. They've re-upped, almost everybody out there except for a couple of guys. So, yeah, very interesting offseason so far, I say. But this happens, though, every year, though, with a Pat Verbeek team. So I would just preach to Anaheim fans, be patient. This happens all the time. It happened last year, too. So this is nothing new, if you ask me, honestly.
All right, let's because I know, is there any other move in free agency that has caught your eye thus far? I think
let's see,
Bobrovsky going to Toronto. I think that was kind of expected.
It's not much of a surprise, just for the fact of the trade that they made involving Jacob Markstrom going back to Florida. Honestly, not a lot really happened. If anything, Isaiah, a lot of these moves that have been made have mainly just been a lot of guys who are probably making AHL rosters at this rate. That's what Anaheim, as I said, what the Ducks kind of did on day one. They re-upped Judd Caulfield, who was down here in San Diego. They gave 3 veteran AHL guys deals. So they signed Jet Wu, who was with the Barracuda last season, coming off of a Calder Cup victory in Abbotsford the year prior. They signed him. They signed Corey Schooneman, who I believe is coming from Hershey, which is the Capitals affiliate. And I forget who else that they signed, but a lot of them, though, have been veterans, or they've been a lot of guys who might be on two-way 2-year deals or 1-year deals or a couple-year deals. They signed another backup goalie just in case, in Laurent Brossoit. So this is basically a regular retool and stuff like that. And by the way, I did, though, Isaiah, find that story real quick. So Brian LaRose, who writes for ProHockeyRumors.com, wrote this earlier today revolving around the Leo Carlson ordeal at this rate, with where things stand with this. And it says, with one offer sheet already signed, some are wondering if there will be others coming. Some teams are trying to guard against the possibility, including the Anaheim Ducks. Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman says that Anaheim has told some teams that they will match any offer sheet given to centerman Leo Carlson, and that they elected to not be overly active in free agency to ensure they have the cap space to do so. Carlson is 21 years old, has had his best season yet in 25-26 with 29 goals, 38 assists, and 70 games played, taking big strides towards living up to his number 2 overall pick back in 2023. Projected to be an all-around top centerman, he's well on his way to doing so and is in line to command a max-term deal with a double-digit AAV. By telling teams that he'll match whatever's offered, Verbeek is trying to ensure he's the person to give Carlson that contract at his terms. History suggests that this could make talks drag on well into the summer. So again, all that right there, Isaiah, is nothing new with how Verbeek goes about business. Simple.
Well, yeah, I think Carlson's ultimately going to stay with the Ducks. I mean, as a fan of this rivalry between the Sharks and the Ducks, I really would want Carlson to stay with Anaheim because you want that rivalry. You want the other team to be good. We don't want like the Sharks to just have the entire division be garbage and then
Yeah,
like
they're not
we
going
want
to have the division anyway. You got Vegas and Edmonton still, sir.
um but
It
I
doesn't
think
matter what they have and haven't done. They're still the odds-on favorites right now, along with Anaheim, to be in the top three. While you're on the outside looking in again for the eighth year in a row.
by the
It's
way,
not bias. It's called looking at the numbers and the data and the odds.
but LA's gonna fall out though. There's no way they're gonna be backing into the playoffs like they did last year. Don't get
I
me
mean, if you
started
guys
last
do what you did last season and keep giving them overtime losses, maybe they will.
year. But yeah, we had I think also, Callan, the move that I think was really shocking was Patterson going to the Rangers, I think it was. Marcus Patterson going, or Marcus
You mean
Peterson, my bad.
no? You mean Marcus Pedersen?
Marcus Pedersen, yeah.
Don't
Going
be
to
saying you're a hockey nut and you can't announce names correctly.
but anyways,
And that was from a
yeah, those
sponsor of the Seattle Kraken, so he's not a Sharks fan,
no.
people. There you go.
Gosh. But let's get into some comments, shall we? Because we do have a lot of comments that flooded in. James said, I guess, or Casey King says, "How about my Dodgers down 6-0 and have rallied back and lead 10-6?" They actually did. Last
What
time
else
I
is Casey? What else is new? Come on, man.
last time I checked, it was 6-2 or something like that.
Again,
Wow,
what else is new?
that's insane. Casey says, "I'll admit, as a Kings fan, Sharks have improved their team and should be even better next year, but not quite Stanley Cup contenders yet."
You've made the
I'm not.
improvement, but they're not going anywhere still for the next 2 to 3 years. It takes time.
Yes, I agree. Patience is a virtue. That's what I'm learning with the Sharks right now. Um,
I said that last year and you thought I was full of shit. I mean, you would think a guy
uh,
who's been around hockey for 25 years would know what he's talking about. And that'd be me, not you.
James says no one says or refers to hockey as the ice world. I mean, there is people that do.
Exactly.
Hey, there is people that do. I went to the Sharks draft party and I was asking people about the term ice world. Some people like that term, by the way. Just
Yeah,
saying. Just
they're
saying.
they're newbies. They're not people who've been around since they became a franchise back in 90.
Um, James says you just love trolling the Ducks.
Of course he
Are
does.
you referring to? Hold on, James. I swear you look at all the littlest things of things. I mean, just because I put this, I wasn't even thinking about Anaheim or the Ducks when I put this picture. Like I
That is
literally
literally the
said,
castle in Orlando, Florida, and holy
really?
AI Batman. Good Lord.
How can you tell that's the castle in Orlando, Florida?
Because I've been to the castle in Florida, you moron.
Hey, we're calling this the castle in Anaheim, but
That's not the castle in Anaheim. People that go to Disneyland would know it's not the same castle, sir. And
I was
again,
just
holy AI Batman.
I was just
quit wasting our water, for God's sakes.
Casey says, as for my Kings, unfortunately, they're going backwards and they seem to be keep adding older players and they need to get younger and go full rebuild mode as their quick fix hasn't worked. Yeah, that's what I've been saying since last season. I
Casey,
mean,
it's simple. The pipeline that they have in Ontario is still great. They're just like the Oilers. They're so damn stubborn to use the pipeline. And I feel like they're giving up on people too damn early too. I mean, I'm still miffed at the fact that they dealt Cal Peterson after his breakout year in 16-17 to Philadelphia for a bunch of nobodies.
that's why LA, you should be like San Jose, embrace the rebuild because sometimes when you rebuild,
But you're a Laker fan. Why would you embrace a rebuild?
I did embrace the rebuild. I was there when Jordan Clarkson and D'Angelo Russell and those days. Robert Sacre, you remember him, Callan?
Yeah, he played at Gonzaga. There you go.
Right. James says, "I'm not thirsty." I guess that's referring to what I did earlier with the Sharks juice or whatever. I don't know.
Same guy who drinks a zero alcohol beer on the damn freaking show.
That never happened. As Casey says, as for the Ducks, yes, I know they lost some players, but I think they will be good and got some good young talent. And they still have one of the greatest coaches in the league in Joe Quenneville. I mean, I'm not doubting
Stop writing them off on July 2nd just because they lost half the damn defensive core, Isaiah. I already told you they were not going to give out long-term deals to those players because of what they have left in the pipeline and who has to be paid.
No, you guys are going to be good. I just think we're going to be better, to be honest. But
and when that and if and when that doesn't happen, what are you going to say?
I will admit that I was wrong. The only thing that I think Anaheim that's better than San Jose is the coach. I think Ryan Warsofsky's on the
and goaltending. Don't be overstepping the stall. Goaltending.
I thought you came to the defense of Askarov the last time me and you did a show. Because I was like,
because why would you want to take the big swing on a free agent goalie with a history of injuries after you cough up the farm for Askarov and ship him out after 2 years?
Because we have two goalies that we drafted like back-to-back years as number one goalies
that are going to be in junior hockey or in the East Coast League or in with the CUDA and the other Guppy puppies playing San Diego at some point in time this season.
But speaking of,
you have to remember too, Isaiah, that guys can't go to the AHL until they turn 20 with the new rules in place.
I also do think that the heat is on Ryan Warsofsky this season because Mike Greer has.
You're not going to get Jared Bednar either. He's going to go to another franchise.
Come on, Colorado. Just get him out from his contract already, for crying out loud.
Joe Sakic already gave him a damn clean bill of health.
Casey says, I would say the Florida Panthers seem to be a place where players want to go, and they're going to be a bounce-back team this year, be contending to get another Stanley Cup title. What happened with Florida? Like, legit.
Injuries. 2 years in a row playing for the Stanley Cup, man. It breaks you up and spits you out. Believe me.
And then KCE says, I agree with Callan on his take on the Ducks, and the Ducks will be just fine. Hey, I'm looking.
You always doubt whatever I say about this damn sport.
I don't doubt what you say about this sport.
I
think you guys will be fine as well. I think you guys will be okay. Like I said, I just think we're going to be better.
And again, when they're not better, what are you going to say if LA surpasses you again in the standings?
I will admit that I was wrong. But yeah, I believe in number
judging
71.
the book by its cover after 2 days of free agency, and not every team's made a move.
What was your thoughts on the Mason Marchment move, by the way? Quickly, because I don't think you really got into that.
Yeah, I mean, he's bounced around too many times for my liking between Columbus and Seattle. I mean, yeah, his dad played for them. Big deal. Going home is a headache for a lot of athletes when I've talked to them about playing in their hometown. So.
All right, let's get into our second hockey topic, which is Ovi is back. The legend Alex Ovechkin officially announced today that I am not retiring. Instead, he's coming back for a 22nd year in the NHL. I mean, Callan, good for him. You know, some players just love to play the sport. They just can't retire, even if they're super old. But he's a legend. He deserves, whenever he wants to retire, he can call it quits. The Capitals were actually one of the biggest surprises, in my opinion, last year. I didn't think that they were going to be like as decent as they were. I thought they were going to be really awful last season. But, I mean, kudos to him. I mean, legend is back. I'll definitely be. I think I went to the game last year that they played the Sharks played the Capitals. Capitals beat us like 7-1. It was like 6-0 after the first.
I mean, are you that surprised? Come on now.
Not really, but it was cool to see Ovi score a goal though. Like just to have watched him play and just to see him score a goal. I mean, it was fantastic. But what's your thoughts on the legend Alex Ovechkin coming back for year 22nd?
No, I love it. But with him and Crosby still around, playing against all the young guys, I love it. I mean, it's a 1 year, $1 million deal for Ovi. Keep tacking on to that all-time goal-scoring record, my man. Go for it. Keep on going.
Exactly. And then the last hockey topic we'll get into before we go to the craziness of the NBA. The off-season injury bug strikes again. Connor Bedard apparently left a training session.
He's not going to go to San Jose either.
No, he's not going to San Jose. But Connor Bedard apparently left a training session in Vancouver in severe pain, holding his shoulder that I guess he dislocated during the season.
He got
This
hurt. He
past,
got hurt around Christmas time last year.
yeah, he apparently he got hurt again. We can't show the video because of copyright. So it's out there on Twitter if you guys want to
Man,
see
you
it. It does
threatened me
not
with a
look,
copyright lawsuit. Give me a break. Get out of
and
here.
you didn't comment on my stuff, so that's good. But
Now I have reason to because you bring it up.
oh my gosh.
You
But
walk into the trap every single time.
why do you have to set the trap?
I
But
don't set the trap. You're the one who sets the trap.
but Callan, I don't know how long Bedard is going to be hurt. I mean, the season is what, like training camp starts in what, 2 months? 2 months from now,
I mean,
roughly, give or take.
The freaking preseason begins the middle of September because of the new schedule format this year.
So training camp would begin in what, August? Late
I
August?
would think it'd be late August, maybe early September.
So how long did Bedard miss last year? Because he missed, like, when he got hurt, didn't he miss, like, was he out for the year? Or did he come
No,
back?
I don't think so. 1 second.
Okay, but the injury looked bad, and it didn't look good. I think he was yelling in pain too, which sucks. You never want to see a young guy like that get hurt. And as much as the stuff that I
He only
said about
missed one game last season because of it.
wow, okay.
Actually, hang on 1 second. He missed 12 games.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, you can't miss one game with a dislocated shoulder, but
No, I mean hockey players are built differently, unlike you. So there you go.
as much as I always talk about Connor Bedard, you guys got to realize I don't hate him. There's no place
Sure you
of
do
hate
because you
in-
think it
No,
was rigged that you think it was rigged that he didn't go to San Jose.
Oh my gosh, I like Connor Bedard. Okay, I wish
Everything is rigged when the Sharks aren't number one.
Well, they clearly rigged it last year. But that's a different story for a different day.
Matthew Schaefer is not going to San Jose either.
But Callan, this is back-to-back injuries, shoulder injuries for Connor Bedard. Is it time to worry or panic in Chicago? I mean, it is another L for the Blackhawks this offseason, which has been a really crummy offseason so far. But what's your thoughts on the Bedard injury, and do you think he will miss some time potentially in the regular season?
I mean, he's got to be missing time. I mean, it's only right now. I mean, it's only July, so I mean, hopefully he can be back by August. When training camp does open up. But worst comes to worst. By the way, Isaiah, the overall grade of that Darnell Nurse trade for the Sharks, C-.
Not bad, because I thought that someone would have given them a D or like an F for it. Like,
I think the Athletic gave them a D+.
Okay.
So it's like on the border of C- D+ for the trade for Darnell Nurse.
I mean, I'm not really like. I mean,
because they're afraid about the length of the contract and that Darnell can be an idiot sometimes and cost you a couple of minutes in the box, and it becomes a power play goal for the opposition.
But yeah, what's your thoughts on Bedard?
I don't know, man. I mean, it seems like it's a lost cause already, and we're only on July 2nd. So hopefully he can come back, quick, and maybe he may have to look at that Fernando Tatis Jr. Cody Bellinger's surgery to fix the shoulder from having all those dislocations. I mean, because they have surgery that you can do that where the joint can stop moving out of its socket.
Well, from what I was seeing in the video, it seemed like Connor Bedard tripped over his own feet, and he just
the way he landed.
Yeah, the way he landed, he fell to the ground in pain. So yeah, wishing nothing but the best for him, wishing him a speedy recovery. Sadly, I mean, I hate to cast aspersions on him, but it just seems like he's injury prone at this point. I mean, like, he's always injured. It just seems like first year he suffered a broken jaw. But
he came back with the fish. He came back wearing the fishbowl.
Right. I don't know if he got hurt in his second year. I felt like he suffered something, and then last year with the shoulder, and now with the shoulder again, like I said, guys, I wish nothing but the best for Connor Bedard, but the way that this guy just keeps getting hurt and his franchise can't protect him, his franchise can't get talent around him. Like, get out of Chicago already, Connor. Come on, dude. Like, come on.
He's
We're
not going
all
to go to
rooting
San
for
Jose either.
all right, let's get into the NBA. What a great hockey topic that was. A good 53 minutes of hockey. But let's get into the NBA, shall we? Because we had a major, it's been a major week. I mean, if you woke up, folks, after a 5-day slumber fest and you looked at your phone or looked around and you were like, what the hell did I just wake up to? I don't blame you, because I was awake for 2/3 of it and I'm wondering the same thing myself. What the hell just happened in the National Basketball Association? And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start off with the stunning trade last night. The Celtics, and Callan broke this to myself and James last night. The Boston
I can
Celtics.
break news too. Or nothing special.
You could. Credit. Okay. Are we having our little Woj and Shams, Callan? I don't know. But
no.
Blockbuster, the Boston Celtics last night traded superstar and 2024 Finals MVP Jaylen Brown to their arch rivals in the East and their Atlantic Division rivals in the Philadelphia 76ers for Paul George, 2 first-round picks, and 2 second-round picks. Callan, I'm going to say this. This is worse than the Luka Doncic trade, in my opinion, because here's the thing. At least with the Luka trade, Dallas traded him out of their division, right? Trade him out of the division. Like, they did get Anthony Davis back. Anthony Davis, yes, he's always hurt, but at least Anthony Davis is somewhat viable in a way. Paul George has become unplayable. He's become cancerous. He has become injury prone. And not just that, you trade Jaylen Brown, who is, I believe he's 30. Paul George is 36, 37 at the moment.
30. I think he's 35, 34 going on 35.
34 going on 35. So a 5-year gap. You trade Jaylen Brown to the Sixers, the team that beat you in the West in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, the team that you have to get through if you want to win the East, the team that you have to get through to win the division. You trade him to Philadelphia. And not just that, I found out today from Shams Charania that apparently when Boston called Philadelphia, they originally asked for, get this, VJ Edgecombe, Paul George, and 5 first-round picks. How do you go from that to now this in a matter of a couple of days? Like, it's just, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. There's like no logic as to why Boston would even make this move. Like, if you had traded him to maybe Denver, or you traded him to Houston, or you traded him to the Lakers, I would understand. But to do it to Philadelphia, like, it's no wonder why Boston fans are waking up or are raging today, because you don't do this type of move. Like, you don't, not within the division, not to your arch nemesis with how Boston and Philadelphia, how they're close by. You just don't do that. Like, that's just, it's such a despicable move. And like Jaylen Brown, you just help, like, you talk about the Sharks helping Edmonton get out from the Darnell Nurse contract, right? And salary cap hell. Boston just helped Philadelphia get out from the Paul George contract. And they basically tossed in a player who's way better than Paul George, younger than Paul George. Like, I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I think the Philadelphia 76ers now with Edgecombe and Maxey and Embiid, if he stays healthy, and Brown, I mean, that's a team I think is going to the NBA Finals. I think that's how good they are. And I mean, Jaylen Brown now gets to be like a 1A now with Maxey and Embiid and those guys. It doesn't make any sense. I know, Callan, I told you and James, we welcome James to the program. By the way, James, shout out to you. Got some Sharks juice to toast the amazing victory. But yeah, like I was saying, this trade, I know I was saying to you and James, I think it was either last show when we were talking about potential Jaylen Brown destinations. I know I said Philadelphia, but I thought it was going to be Boston. I heard wanted a big man. So I was like, okay, why don't we do a Jaylen Brown for Joel Embiid and draft picks, and then that would be a decent deal. But you don't even get Embiid. You get Paul George, who was like the third or fourth best player on that team last year. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I wish Ben Cruz was on here. I don't know. I know he's feeling just so down out of his mind right now. But
Well, I mean, he was on a breaking news stream on a different three-letter network yesterday that we had that had like 500 live viewers yesterday.
yeah, like, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what Brad Stevens was thinking. Like, congratulations, you topped the Lakers, or you topped the Dallas Mavericks and Nico Harrison for worse than the Luka Doncic trade. And I don't think anybody thought that was reasonably possible. But James, welcome to the program. How are you doing, my friend?
I just took too much medicine and took a nap, so luckily I'm here right now. I wish. No. If I took that, I wouldn't be here right now. Yeah, I just wanted y'all to talk the hockey because I'm like hesitant on the Ducks and what they've done, but I figured you better let Mr. Hockey talk that and get Isaiah to realize that. And just like Casey said, like, hey, the Sharks aren't there yet, man. They're building for it. It's gonna happen, possibly, but pump the brakes.
It takes time.
But James, before I give it to you to host the rest of the show,
why don't you? You're doing such a great job. You should.
That's why.
Oh, please, Isaiah.
Well, you would talk less, though. You would talk less. Think about it.
What's your thoughts on this move? I know we were on a group chat and all of us was losing our minds yesterday, but what was your thoughts on this whole insane deal?
That the NBA offseason is drunk already. It's a lightweight like you are, and there's still more to go when you really think about it. No, but listen, yeah, the Celtics trading Jaylen Brown away. It just shows you, and shout out to, of course, Ben. I saw his live today, and of course he's devastated. There's been a lot that's been devastating for Boston sports as of late, on and off the fields. But man, it's just a shocker to get traded to an arch rival that beat you. I'm always going to bring up whenever that happens when Kevin Durant joined the Warriors after blowing a 3-1 lead with Oklahoma City. But this was a trade, and I guess for 4 years, Brown was just pissed off that he was being offered every offseason. Even after winning Finals MVP in 23, there was still talk of him. Hey, he's not the franchise player. It's Jason Tatum. Celtics also going cheap here with new ownership. The owner, one of them, I should say, took out I think it was a $1 billion loan, I want to say, or $1 million loan. I can't remember. But I think it was $1 billion to buy the team and finance the team. So, and then they had to get under that umbrella too. So, all these years, the last 2-3 years, they made some trades that kind of shocked people, but they had to get under an umbrella. But now you do it just based off desperation. Brown wanted to leave, and Philly was probably the best deal out there left for Boston. So the Celtics had to take it. Brad Stevens just having to do what he has to do under all the pressure. Like I said too, it makes, like I commented on Ben's post where I said it's funny how nowadays things don't last as long. Windows close quicker in the NBA, especially with that umbrella. The younger teams get deeper, and then the older teams get younger but not as good when you really, really think about it out there. For Philadelphia, though, you had not only did they get Brown, but today they signed Anthony Simons, who was a Celtic last year, by the way. I think first half of the season. So he's another scorer you're adding to Philadelphia, which is amazing to see. I did see a report that Stevens was wanting BJ Edgecombe, and they wouldn't go that high with the Sixers. But you can just see Philadelphia. It's almost like Philadelphia and Boston are trading trading places here. With hey, Philadelphia, we need to score more to survive. We could just try to outscore everybody. For the Celtics, you're hoping on Tatum to get back sometime this season coming up. Remember, he got hurt again. And Paul George is just going to have to carry the team, but he's going to have help because we've seen, guys, how Boston really spreads the floor out, how they make three-pointers at a record pace. They had a record season. So it's just amazing how they've been able to do that. And, I'm really looking forward to it. It's funny, too, because Jaylen Brown and Joel Embiid had, like, playoff beef a couple years ago. I think they were both, showing fists to one another, or they were getting into it on loose balls. But, yeah, I'm looking at what the Sixers gave up, two first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. Those might help later on, just depending how Philadelphia ends up. So we'll see what happens there. It looks like Isaiah, are you there? Having difficulties? Okay. Callan, I guess we'll go to you on this. Man, it's odd to see a divisional trade like this, but I guess it was desperation.
I mean, you talk about Matt Kemp going to the Padres 11 years ago from the Dodgers. I mean, this one, though, and what's sad, guys, is a lot of new news is broken today that I've been kind of keeping a bit of tabs on over the past few hours regarding, I guess, Jaylen Brown has just gone like Swiss cheese and like all over the media. On another Twitch stream again, per reports I've been seeing, though, and I can't find them now, but it's been very chaotic. I mean, when this news broke, I was in the middle of watching the chaotic finish for Belgium-Senegal yesterday, where it came down to Belgium winning that or tying it up and then winning the game with the PK. And literally, I looked at my phone and saw the alert, and I yelled, "Oh, my goodness, it just happened." And I, scrambled to tell, other people, about what happened. And then we obviously had a live show about it. But I mean, this is, beyond. I mean, the disrespect could not be any more out of control for Jaylen Brown, where I think and again, I told this to you guys, though, in our own separate group chat. Chalk up a W for Isaiah, Callan, and James, because I think that we all agreed, though, that it was going to eventually come to the point that we're come to a head that when you put Brown's name back in trade talks again, this was bound to happen. And I heard reports yesterday from Shams that it had already been, in the works for about a week, roughly. I don't get this move for either side, honestly. I mean, sure, the Sixers pick up a young star to go alongside Embiid and Maxey, who, by the way, I saw the Sixers play the Clippers in Intuit Dome last year. I mean, they were up 35-10 at one point. They were hitting every damn shot that they could in that game last season. And they look really, really good in person. This, though, is just wow. And for the Boston Celtics, 18-time NBA champions, to let Brad Stevens make this kind of a move, before I head out, guys, that right there, this trade, I think Isaiah's right. This looks way worse now than the Luka trade because it's a divisional opponent that you sent him to. This is a fireball offense. Don't at me. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, that could be true. Isaiah, are you there, first of all? Going once, going twice. Okay, I guess he's not there. Just shout out if you are. Yeah, so Jaylen Brown mentioned on the stream today, I want to say, that Boston basically shipped him away on a new stream. He mentioned this, and it's just it's just weird. Like I said, again, going to a divisional opponent, especially the one that ousted you in the first round. It's just weird like that. So that's the Brown trade. We'll again see what happens with Paul George there with the Celtics. Like I said, they could just continue to shoot threes. What can you do after that? you have to hope Peyton Pritchard continues to play at his level. The other guys, shooting threes, like I mentioned. We'll see what happens. Isaiah, you got are you with us first of all?
I am, yeah. My computer is just overheating because my stupid AC decided to pump in hot air instead of cold air. So the whole house feels like a damn furnace right now when it's like 75 degrees outside.
Okay, well.
Where's Callan, by the way? He left?
Yeah, he's out. So we're talking about being hot. All the Celtic fans, especially one that we know, were hot about this trade, man. Isaiah, I just don't know. And I guess maybe Brown hurried this trade up, but what are you thinking with this trade, man? And how do you think it's going to help? First of all, can it make the 76ers contend with New York and others? Can they get back in the top 4?
Well, absolutely. I think that they're going to the NBA Finals next season. Because I look at their guard play, right? You drastically improved with taking out Paul George and going for Jaylen Brown. So Jaylen Brown's younger, he's durable, he is better than Paul George. He got better in that regard. And also you have Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey. It's like a big 3 there. And then Joel Embiid, you don't really have to count on him that much. Like, sure, if Joel Embiid gives you maybe 80% of what he is, then sure, then that would be a super team. But I look at New York, they lost a lot. They lost Mitchell Robinson. They lost, they lost a few pieces there. So I just think this trade, it really hurts and kills Boston. It closes their window. And also for Philadelphia, I mean, Boston just handed Philadelphia a trip to the NBA Finals. This is worse. James, this is worse than a Luka Doncic trade. That's how pathetic it is. I talked about it earlier, but this is at least Dallas. Because here's
I don't want to agree with that.
At least Dallas gave Luka to the Lakers, but the Lakers weren't in their division. This is Philadelphia is in Boston's division. And also Philadelphia just beat Boston in the playoffs. And you have to get through Philadelphia to win the East and get to the finals. So I don't understand.
If we say it's the worst, I want to wait and see how it plays out. You know what I mean? Because if Luka doesn't win a championship, then it's not so bad. But he was their main star. He was going to be the one that was going to have the statue outside the arena and all that. You weren't sensing that with Jaylen Brown, so that's why I don't say it's the worst trade. That's what I'm thinking with that. Let's get to this. You got another?
No, I just think with Anthony Davis. At least Anthony Davis was
he played what?
Yeah,
not even. How many?
I think he only played 2 games with them, to be honest.
What the hell's going? And then he's not even playing with the Wizards, but he's in trade talks supposedly. But the Wizards shot that.
Might go to the Warriors with LeBron.
Let's get to that because I don't want to say this, but I will. LeBron says deuces to Los Angeles and informs the Lakers that he is leaving the team and will play elsewhere next season in a monumental seismic landscape shifting move. Money is not to be expected a factor in LeBron's decision on where he'll play next. And LeBron James is reportedly going to prioritize competing for a championship and his happiness, according to his agent, Rich Paul. All right, so I guess I'll go solo here with my opinion first. LeBron James has finally got to that point in his career where he has to settle for where he wants to go, not pick and choosing, so to speak. In a way, just because the numbers have, shrinks, but he's still really good at his age. Don't get me wrong. I'm kind of shocked that he is for sure leaving the Lakers, but I think they realized Luka's the main guy along with Reeves, and going younger is better, and then paying two guys what you're paying Luka and Reeves would only count, not LeBron. You're not paying him anymore as much as you would before. So that's what I guess the Lakers are trying to do here, where they're saying, hey, we're going younger. The whole, Isaiah, the whole Genie Bus thing too, just kind of made it just messy to be there half of last season when the news came out about LeBron and Bus not getting along, Bus not liking that LeBron is like taking the spotlight of the Lakers away from her, even though she sold part of the team too last year. But LeBron not being a Laker, it's going to be weird. And then I think they said they'll retire his jersey with the Lakers, his number, I should say. But I guess let's talk first, Isaiah, just about LeBron leaving the Lakers and what that's going to do for the Lakers.
It's going to feel weird. You're right. But honestly, I'm not really that sad that he's gone because I just think it was time. It was time for that era to end and for the Lakers to shift from LeBron's Lakers to Luka Doncic's Lakers. I mean, that transition I feel like has been like in the works ever since we acquired Luka. Like it was Luka's team, but it was like, all right, it was kind of like an awkward, transition. But now you get a clean break. You had all that money to spend. We'll talk about what they did with that money in a little bit. But you have all that money to spend to build around Luka and to, build around Reeves. And I think offensively, the Lakers will play a style of basketball that I think, fans will really come to like, where you can move the ball, player movement, a lot of like really good guard play. Like the play with LeBron was just like really just not appeasing, like stylistically. And also like, I think that, with Clutch Sports and how much influence they had, like LeBron would dictate like who should the Lakers trade for and, like who should the Lakers draft and what coaches they should get. Like we're out from under that now. So like I feel like, it needed to happen. I'm glad that it happened because like if LeBron had just stayed with the Lakers, like both sides I felt like would not have been happy. LeBron would not have been happy because, Jeanie Buss wasn't happy about like, the whole stuff with Westbrook, that there's been reports that their relationship was like fractured ever since the Westbrook trade or what happened with the Westbrook trade. And then the Lakers would not have been able to like really get better. So I like it. I know it's sad that LeBron is gone. It's going to be weird seeing him like in a different uniform because I've always imagined that, okay, if he retires, it's going to be with the Lakers and now it's going to be, it's going to be with someone else. So it's an end of an era and it's crazy like that, like the era has ended. But I mean, people were saying LeBron's era was a failure in Los Angeles. Like, what do you mean it was a failure? He brought you a ring. He brought you relevancy. You stuck before LeBron got to LA.
I think when you're the LeBron James brand, that comes with going to the finals. Remember, he did it pretty much every year in the 2000s, other from a couple. You're, as a Laker fan, you're expecting championships or at least going to the finals, but losing the championship, is unfortunate, of course.
Right.
But I think people expected that from LeBron because of just his brand, just because of what he's done. They tried to appease him with getting players, with AD, but AD kept getting hurt. You're getting Luka in a transition year where he's transitioning his body. But in a way, LeBron did had a great deed there by saying, hey, I'm passing the keys to the car, to the Lakers, to Luka. And then literally I'm not going to be here for that. So at least he did that. But the meddling, the spotlight, those are all things you have to take with LeBron when you have him on your team. But man, all the first round exits, especially first round exits, those kill the Lakers even more just because of expectations. And the more and more that I I talk to Laker fans all the time, older ones. They hated him. They hated him being on the team. They hated bubble. They hated
Right.
just the way he played. He flopped. Whatever the case is, what he would say and do. So I think it's the older Laker fans saying, "Well, he was never really one, never really a Laker," and
That's what I've heard.
yeah. So
I
I
mean, you
think it's
can't like
good that it
you
finally
can't
ended, though.
you can't put him over like the top 5, right? You can't put him like with
Of
like I mean it's always
Lakers of
gonna
all
be
time.
no. Like I'm saying like the group of 5 that like are people are gravitated towards with the Lakers, right? With Magic and
Yeah.
Kareem
Okay.
and
No. Okay.
Wilt,
Magic, Kareem. No,
Wilt,
Magic, Kobe, Kareem,
Magic, Kobe, Kareem,
West, Baylor,
West,
Shaq,
Baylor, Shaq.
Worthy.
Yeah, like
Uh,
LeBron's not even a top 10 Laker, dude. Like sadly, he's just
well,
if he had won maybe
Mike
one more
and
championship, like you may consider it because who did you just name? You named like
I have 7.
Magic,
I have
Kobe.
7.
Well,
I have
okay,
7.
so you have
No, I have
7.
8.
Okay,
I have 8 now. So I said Magic, Kobe, Kareem, Shaq, Wilt, Mike and Jerry West, Elgin Baylor. After that, it's like you go bench players from the championship years. Like you go Michael Cooper, who's a Hall of Famer. You go Derek Fisher, Robert Ory.
you forgot
Uh,
Worthy though.
no, I said Worthy.
Oh, you said Worthy. Oh shit.
So that's 10 actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
He- He's he's a
see,
top 10 Laker, but like he's on the fringe. I feel
because
like
he won that championship. Luckily, if that
yes.
championship doesn't happen, then yeah, it's a complete failure. But Isaiah, let's move on to what's next with
Yeah,
LeBron, because that's more
right.
impressive, more of a story here. So LeBron is reportedly willing to take the veterans minimum on his next team, and a number of teams have reached out to express interest, including the Golden State Warriors, the Philadelphia 76ers, Cleveland Cavaliers, Miami Heat, Denver Nuggets, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I don't know about the New York Knicks, but that would be something. And also, I heard Oklahoma City Thunder, but maybe it was on a show where they were just saying, "Hey, what if you went here? What if you went to the Spurs?" You know, we'll see what happens. But Isaiah, I'll let you go first on this and pass it back to me. But where do you want to see LeBron go in this final chapter of his career? And is it going to be his final season? Is he going to retire after 27?
To be honest, I want to see him with the Knicks because I know that would be the ultimate bandwagoning, like what the hell are you doing move. Like it might be even worse than Kevin Durant because you go and join I know KD went to join the 73-9 Warriors, but here's the thing, they didn't win it. But now imagine if LeBron goes and joins a team that just won the championship. Like I mean, but here's the thing. I just imagine the aura, LeBron James, Madison Square Garden, him, Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson. He doesn't really have to do much, he can play alongside Brunson and really take some of the load off of Brunson. Defensively, you would still have Hart and those guys. So you wouldn't even really lose any players because he's going to take the veteran minimum if that's the case. I guess I'm used to seeing the Knicks now, like after they won the championship, become good. So like I want to see LeBron, the mystique of MSG, the aura. Like I want to see that, him in blue and orange. I mean, remember, James, before he left the Cavs, like a lot of Knicks fans thought he was going to New York in that decision in 2010. So
that's what I was gonna say. They willed him. There was a fan who ran on the court with, I think, a LeBron James Knicks jersey to go hug him or try to hug him, but security got there, and he was saying, "Hey, come to New York, come to New York." And that was the year. That was his final season with the Cavs before he left.
That wasn't your Stoudemire. Wasn't the year like they got Stoudemire and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get LeBron and Stoudemire."
Well, they missed out on LeBron, and the Cavs missed out trading for Amari Stoudemire. The year before, they were both free agents, and then they were free agents. LeBron, of course, went to Miami, and then Stoudemire went to the New York Knicks.
But I want to see him on the Knicks.
But I think where he's going to ultimately land, and I don't think it's going to be his final year. I think he plays for 2 more seasons because I think what LeBron wants to do, yes, I think what if he finds like the perfect fit, right, with like a super team. I think he's going to play for at least 2 more seasons, but I think he's going to ultimately go to Golden State just because if you think about it, Draymond opted, and I think you and I talked about this like after the Draymond opting in decision or opting out decision. Everybody in the league thought that Draymond Green was going to opt in and take that 27 million because nobody's paying Draymond Green like more than 20, like more than that, or even coming close to that. So for him to opt out of that and take less, I mean, that signaled right there that I thought something was done between LeBron and the Warriors. And then you heard the whole AD rumors, which who knows if that's going to happen, but like, I mean, San Francisco is a short flight from Los Angeles, so LeBron can still tend to business in Los Angeles. He's always wanted to play with Curry. Him and Curry would be just absolutely unstoppable. Like Curry might win MVP if LeBron joins, or LeBron might win MVP if Curry joins. I mean, if he plays with Curry, and then you have Draymond. You know, you have that team that they can try to win 1 or 2 more championships. They're all like in the same like age group, it seems like. So like, I think for him, he probably will go to the Warriors just because of that Team USA experience, playing with Curry, getting coached by Steve Kerr, friends with Draymond, the location from the Bay Area to LA. Like, I think Golden State is probably where, if I have to bet, I think that's where he ends up.
So I'm trying to remember what year it was when the LeBron rumors were going out. I think it was the year, maybe 2017, the off season, 2017, 2018. Where there was a rumor that he was going to get traded to the Warriors. So it's funny how this is going full circle. So I'll counter with that. I'm going to say it's going to be his last season. So he's going to go all out. The Knicks, I just don't see it because people say, you know, if he messes with their camaraderie that they have going on, then that'll just hurt the legacy of LeBron. But it would be great if he did go to New York, but I don't see it. You have Minnesota here. You have, you know, OKC, people saying OKC, San Antonio. I just don't see him staying in the West unless it's one team and throwing the Nuggets there. I don't see that either. Miami is a long shot just because I don't know if Giannis and LeBron
is terrible. That fit is awful.
Yeah, I just don't see that working out with Bam too. So it's just like, I don't know about that. The Cavaliers, obviously, it's home, well, close to home, Akron. They have to deal with James Harden first. He has that player option if he's gonna opt in or opt out. So they're waiting on him. Also, you wonder if they'll trade Jared Allen. So you wonder what the Cavs are going to have left. With the Philadelphia 76ers, I know there's still some room there, but it feels like they're going a certain direction where they're wanting to win with young pieces, but you trade for Brown, you still have Embiid. So I think they're good. So that leaves only the Warriors. And I know we're supposed to be debating or whatever, but I don't care. The Warriors would be a great fit. And I heard Michael Wilbon say this earlier today on PTI. He would love to see, you know how LeBron just kept teaming up with, you know, trios or whatever, you know, with Miami first, you know, with Bosh and Wade. And then you got, you know, when he went to the Cavaliers, back to the Cavaliers, they had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. So you have to have another pairing, and it's just fitting LeBron would be the one to make that move. So with him, Curry, I don't know if Jimmy Butler is going to come back or if they'll trade him away. You have Draymond there who does his job well. You have some young pieces there. And yeah, if the league makes the Wizards trade Anthony Davis to Golden State, don't be surprised. We'll see if that happens, though. I know the Wizards are saying no to that. but they could be persuaded. Just for if LeBron's going out, the big bang, it would be great to see him pair up with Curry because of all those years being in the finals, and LeBron was the one that made teaming up popular. I know the Celtics and Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen joined Pierce before that, but LeBron just made it his own big thing. So it would be something to see LeBron ending up on the Warriors, which may happen. Isaiah, let's go to what else is going on in the LA area. This time with the Los Angeles Clippers. Another era is over in LA as the same day LeBron James bid farewell to the Lakers. The Clippers traded their franchise star Kawhi Leonard back to the Toronto Raptors for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, 2 first-round picks, and 2 second-round picks. Now, this move to me just what should I go first on this, Isaiah, or how about you?
How about I go first and then I give you the floor for that whole because I know you probably have a lot to say about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this, it's crazy because you remember when Kawhi first joined the Clippers, that was the same offseason that LeBron James, or no, that was the same offseason that the Lakers got their duel with LeBron and AD, and then you had Kawhi there. I mean, it's crazy that both of them went out at the same time that they kind of sort of came in. You had the Lakers and Clippers were always compared to one another. LeBron and Kawhi, they were always compared to one another. Their teams were compared. And so for them to both go out of LA the same day, it's crazy to think about. And what a storybook chapter closing. But I think when you talk about the Kawhi Clippers, I'm not really surprised that the Clippers got out from Kawhi because it seemed like it was the LeBron thing where it was the era had run its course. It was time for a new change, time to do something new and for a fresh start. So I'm not surprised. I thought that what was going to keep the Clippers from trading Kawhi was Steve Ballmer loving Kawhi so much. I mean, he loves Kawhi so much. Kawhi is like another son to Steve Ballmer. I mean, that's how much Steve Ballmer loves Kawhi. So I didn't think that Steve Ballmer was going to ever trade Kawhi. So for him to do that, it's definitely crazy for him. But I mean, not surprised. End of an era. They needed a fresh start. It seemed like the Clippers were moving in a different direction. And plus, you get out from potentially the whole aspiration thing that can go down. Maybe the league persuaded you guys to trade him because of the whole thing, just so they don't need to punish the Clippers. But I do like what the Clippers got back. I mean, Brandon Ingram's not bad. I mean, he averages 20, 25 points a game. He can be an all-star caliber player. Grady Dick, I mean, he hasn't really established himself much in the NBA so far. He's been all right, but he's not really anything to write home about. But Kawhi going to Toronto, you know what, James? I'm surprised he went back because of the way that he left, where it was oh, we won a championship. But then it was okay, I'm doing the hell, whatever I need to get out of Toronto. So it didn't seem like he wanted to even be there. So for him to leave in the first place, and to come back, I'm surprised by that. And here's the thing is, I think he makes them I do think he makes them a championship contender, maybe not a championship contender, but definitely an Eastern Conference finals contender with their young talent that they have there. And then you put Kawhi with his championship expertise. How many games does he play is the bigger question with Kawhi on the Raptors. But hey, man, that era needed to end.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking just because for me, following the Clippers all these years, the job wasn't done. The whole thing with, when Ballmer came in was, I love Larry, the Larry O'Brien trophy. And the goal to get there took so many draft picks and the job was never completed, to get Kawhi in the first place took a big toll. It gave Oklahoma City a championship and, for them contending for so many years. For Kawhi to join the Clippers, they had to get Paul George, and it set them back. Even though they went and signed and traded players back and forth, they were just never quite able to get to the finals. You know, they got to the championship round. I'm sorry, conference finals in 2021, and then Kawhi got hurt again, and it's just another failure with the Clippers. You had Lob City. You had a couple years in the 90s and one in 2000s, and just maybe the curse continues. And it would have been great to see Kawhi Leonard break the Clipper curse. I mean, that would troll or trump anything, you know, the championship year in San Antonio, and then the other one with Toronto. You know, it would have been the greatest feat to bring the Clippers a championship. Clippers. That would have been great to see. Now, you know what's funny, Isaiah? If you watch the All-Star game or the runs they had or whatever, it was at Intuit Dome last year where the Clippers played. And Kawhi, that felt like the send-off, the way he was waving to the crowd, the way he had a great game in one of those games in the All-Star weekend. That felt like with all the aspiration stuff going on, that felt like the postcard, the poster leaving, basically. Yeah, the aspiration stuff is still out there. The problem is the punishment should have came a long time ago. You have all these draft picks leaving and coming with the Clippers, or not draft picks leaving, but coming. And I figured the punishment would be a hefty fine. Kawhi's contract would have got voided, and then you would have had draft picks taken away. So maybe they're waiting for the offseason to commence, and then you have the punishment. That's all I'm thinking the NBA's Adam Silver is waiting for. That's all I'm thinking. But now let's talk about what the Clippers get back, though. You have Brandon Ingram, who's an off and on player. He did have a swell year last year with the Raptors, but disappeared in the playoffs, sadly. I don't trust him. He's back in LA, but after a while, you think about what the Clippers have acquired and what they've let go. It just feels like a rebuild, but it's a strong one, considering the future that they didn't have and what they traded. You know, Vitsa Zubac is traded basically for the fifth overall pick in Wagler. So the Clippers have built back better, and they've had to just get rid of their pillars to do it. But it's going to take a couple of years to really get back to competing, I would think, in my opinion. Grady Dick, he is a great scorer, facilitator. Maybe work on the outside game just a little bit better.
Right.
And those first round picks, I do like that too, just in case the Raptors just fall. Especially with you got the 2 second round picks, who I'll be seeing in the future in San Diego here, or Oceanside, with the San Diego G League team. So, you know, I kept tabs on who the Clippers were getting in this in these trades, just because, hey, I might be able to see them here, where their G League teams just depleted because of all the injuries with the LA Clippers and trades. So yeah, the Clippers, they're definitely moving on, and then we'll see about the punishment. You know what, Isaiah? Let's go back, because we're gonna get on the surfboard and go a little bit north here.
Before we go north, I do want to say this.
Oh.
I forgot to add this about the Clippers thing. You're right. This Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, this era of Clippers basketball, this was a complete failure, because not only did you not win a championship, because everybody remember when Kawhi came to LA, was, Kawhi's got the better team. Kawhi's got the better team than LeBron. Well, at least LeBron went to the finals. He won a championship. He went to another Western Conference Finals. Kawhi only went to one Western Conference Finals. That was it with the Clippers. All he's going to be known for with the Clippers is load management. Like, that's literally the only thing he's going to be known for, is sitting out big games. So,
Isaiah, isn't it
failure.
weird? The last season he plays, he hardly has any load management. It's like you're guilty of something, everybody's guilty of something, and they're just saving face by doing well, by having Kawhi play more, having the All-Star game there. It was like showing yourself that you're good people, basically. With Kawhi now, he can go load manage like he did with the Toronto Raptors.
Oh
in
yeah, he's load
2019.
managed with them. That's right.
Dude, he was like, hey, Uncle Dennis and them were just saying, hey, play when you want to, basically. But when it's the playoffs, you make the clutch Game 7 shot versus Philly. You beat the Warriors. You win the championship. You give Toronto the first championship ever. And then you leave. And it's just weird because people thought San Antonio, but I guess they wanted to just continue to go the direction they're going. They didn't want anything awkward again. I don't know.
Golden State.
No, I didn't see that. So actually, let's go from Inglewood, where the Lakers used to be, but back to crypto.com, whatever. El Segundo. The Lakers make some splash moves. I don't know if they were massive. I won't say they're massive. But to begin their post-LeBron era around Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, the Lakers, they ended up getting center Walker Kessler, but he could shoot that thing. He was at LAX a couple of days ago, and boom, he's a Laker. So they traded 2 first-round picks away and 2 first-round pick swaps in a sign-in trade. Kessler was rumored for years to go to the Lakers, or wanted, I should say. But then Kessler re-upped, got a 4-year max deal worth $130 million. Isaiah, let's go step by step here. With Walker Kessler, along with Luka, along with Reeves, and whoever else they'll sign, what does Kessler bring to the Lakers that maybe they've been wanting for a while?
Oh, simple. Kessler brings a presence in the paint, and he brings an elite shot blocker, and he brings a dominant center who can screen, who can play the pick and roll game with Luka, who can go to the hoop, who can sort of also shoot as well. I mean, he is probably the most dominant big man the Lakers have had. I'm talking center, the most dominant center the Lakers have had since we had Dwight Howard back in 2012. Because I look at this.
Not Robert Sacre?
Hell no, not Chris Kaman either, or who else have they had in the middle?
Yo, they let Zubac go for nothing.
I know that stupid Magic, but they also had. I mean, who else did they have? Like DeAndre Ayton. It just seemed like it was like a revolving door at center. Like Marcus Saul at one point. He was not bad. He wasn't bad at all, but. Oh, they had that dude from the he was with the Cavs, but then he got bought out, and then
Timothy
he went to
Mozgov?
No, well, Mozgov's one of them, but it was like 2021. They had this other dude. Like people make fun of this dude now. Well, people make fun of this center because LeBron was posting up against the Suns and he was making fun of him. Shoot.
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about,
God,
right?
He's pointing at it too. Yeah. He's like mimicking the post up. Yeah, I'll look it up while you go on your rant here or whatever.
All right, but. Yeah, dude, I'm shocked. When I woke up and saw that, I woke up pretty late that day. So I was like, we got Walker Kessler. I was like, what the hell? We've been after Walker Kessler for the last 3 to 4 years. That's the guy that the Lakers had targeted from the very beginning. And that was the guy that we really wanted. We tried time after time after time to go get him from the Jazz via trade, but the Jazz would put up an insane trade package that we needed to get him, and we're like, no, obviously we're not going to do that. So I'm surprised. Andre, oh my God, Andre freaking Drummond. That's right.
Because he was like this.
Dude, I remember. Yeah, he was. Bro, people blamed him because he jinxed the Lakers. Because remember,
in the league too.
Well, because remember, when he did that, the Lakers were up 2 games to 1 in that series, and that was before AD got hurt. And then he did that. They won that game. And then the next game, I think AD got hurt in game 4. I think that's what happened.
They were talking mess, and they ended up losing like that. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I'm shocked that we got Kessler because I thought that the Jazz were no way, shape, or form going to let him go. But Rob Pelinka, that was the guy that he wanted, and he paid the premium for him. And now we have our new dominant big man in purple and gold, and I think he's going to help. We never had a guy that can block shots like Kessler. We've never had a guy that can really play the pick and roll game in the middle like Kessler. Kessler, when healthy, is averaging 24 points and 14 rebounds a game. So he's a force in the middle. And I love this move for the Lakers. You have to pay a premium to get talent. So I'm not mad that we paid that much to get him. This is now James, the next star opposite of Luka and Reeves. This is our new big three now with the 3 white boys, with Luka and Reeves and and Kessler, maybe throw in Christian Braun, who knows? Just kidding.
They're more likable every day that goes by for me, just because they'll be like the European team. They'll be like the minority team in the NBA. Let's just say, which is true though.
It is.
The league is like Charles Barkley would always say, the NBA is a black league, right? But now you have all these European players come, Canadian players. You have the Mexican player who got drafted by Memphis this year. So the world is coming into the NBA. And you're just seeing that with the Lakers. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be watching just to see how it goes. If they're not.
Why don't you come back to the Lakers? Just come back to the Lakers now that the Kawhi era is over, dude. He suffered enough already.
I was pretty much gone and then LeBron came, and then it's I don't want to. But then I thought about it the other day. I'm like, you know what?
Ooh, are we gonna have a defection in the show?
They're a little brighter over there. I kind of like what's going on.
Oh my god!
But they're a little smarter over there. They're gonna play with a motor over there. So. But let me show you. Let's talk another 4-year contract player that the Lakers signed. These are 3 of 4. 3 of the 4 signed 4-year deals. Quentin Grimes comes over, shooting guard. He was a Knick, a Piston, a Maverick, and then with the Sixers last year, he played 75 games for the first time since 25. So finally, injuries didn't really derail his career or his season as much. But Grimes, he brings in, some shooting outside, some defensive tenacity there. I want to say he averaged 13 and a half points a game last year, averaged 22 points a game the year before. So, he could be that scorer off the bench, or even, I don't think he'll start, but he'll come off the bench, maybe score. So we've seen him with Philly bring that tenacity. He was kind of at the start of what was going on with the New York Knicks there. What does Grimes bring to the Lakers?
I loved the Kessler deal, even though it was a massive overpay. This is the real massive overpay. I hate this deal because this dude hasn't shown, besides 1 year, that he is durable. He played 75 games last year. That was the most he's played in his entire NBA career. He's been bouncing around the league for many years. He's very spotty from 3. Yes, he's good defensively, but 4 years, 60 million, that's a lot. I don't mind Grimes the player getting him, but don't give him 4 years. Give him maybe a 2-year contract and then see what he can do. I would have rather the Lakers honestly keep Luke Kennard instead of getting Quentin Grimes. I just think he's a younger player, but he just hasn't shown he's durable enough for my liking.
I like the move for them. It just seems like was it Rob Pelinka is on the phone or whatever with all these players. Hey, we're giving out 4-year deals. You want one? You want a 4-year deal? Okay, come on over. Because the next player here, the Lakers signed a forward and center. Here we go with the name.
Pronounce it, buddy.
4-year, $52 million deal. Sandro Mimukelashvili. That's the only time I'll say that. But yeah.
Bravo.
He's with the Raptors. Let's see where else he's been, with the Spurs, with the Mavericks. He's been around since 21. Last year he played 80 games, started 13 of them. He played 22 minutes a game, averaged 11 points a game. Kind of a sixth man for the Raptors coming off the bench. He would bring a little something to the team. Coming out of Seton Hall, 6'9". I'll tell you what, this move, it brings a little bit just off the bench, but we all know it's going to be, Kessler's kind of spot there. But it's a good guy to have coming off the bench, I would think, Isaiah.
Yeah, he's like a stretch 4 or stretch 5. Like I saw him, I think he closed some of the playoff games for the Raptors when they were in the playoffs against the Cavs.
Yeah.
I remember watching him like shoot a couple of threes, and I was like, oh, who's this big dude that can shoot threes? I guess the Lakers are trying to build like the team in JJ Redick's image, where it's like you get these big guys, everybody can shoot threes.
Yeah.
Spreading the floor, exactly. Again, I just don't like the contract. Like, it's not the money. It's like the 4 years. Like, why are we giving a 4-year contract to this guy who, he broke out last season, but like, I don't really trust players when they are like, just have one breakout year. Like, I need to see more from you before I can give you or I need to see another year to make sure that wasn't a fluke. So I'm not a big fan of that deal. I think that 4 years just kills them. The next player we'll talk about, that's the player I would have given a 4-year contract because he's at least shown consistency. But like a 4-year deal, like I think that's way too much.
I was wondering if you did like him or not. I couldn't remember. But Los Angeles, the Lakers, they wrapped up the free agent signings by grabbing Colin Sexton to improve their bench and their defense, and signed Sexton to a 2-year deal with $19 million, most of that going to tax, and a player option for year 2. Sexton, you could just see him clapping whenever you think about him, slapping the floor, getting real physical. The fans are going to love him. They're going to love the tenacity on defense. They're going to love when he gets a crowd going. You have to be really happy to have him on your team and not against you.
Yeah, I think this was probably my favorite signing of our free agent class because this is the guy that I've been wanting, James, for the last 5 years. I mean, I've wanted him so bad that even when he was on the Cavs and there were rumors that he was on the trade block at that time in Cleveland, we had a guy, a Cavs beat writer on our show back in 2021. And I jokingly said to Chris Fedor, shout out to you, Chris. You're doing a lot of great stuff. I don't think he covers the Cavs anymore, but he covers like the entire NBA. I want to say this. I jokingly told Chris Fedor that, hey, you can have the entire Disneyland. You can have the entire Randy's Donut Shop. You can have the entire San Diego province. We'll give you San Diego, and then we'll throw in like some draft picks, whatever, for Colin Sexton. Like that's how much I wanted Colin Sexton. I was gonna give away San Diego to give up Colin Sexton, but sorry, Callan, but yeah, this was my favorite signing, honestly, because I think that when you look at what Sexton brings, his ability to shoot, his ability to score, like this dude gets hot in a flash. Like he is so he's so perfect as a 6-man off the bench, or he can start some games as well. You're not going to miss a beat with Reeves sitting and then Sexton playing, or Sexton off the bench. Like you're not going to miss a beat. So like it's instant offense for the Lakers. And I'm so damn glad, James, that this dude is finally a Laker. Like when Shams broke the news, I was like, I jumped out of my bed. I almost hurt my back jumping out of my bed because I was like laying there, and then I see the tweet. I'm like, damn! Like I jumped up. I was like, whoa, man, we got Colin freaking Sexton, man. Let's go, bro. Like this was the guy I really wanted. So I am so thrilled that he's a Laker. And 2 years, 19 million. This was the guy that I would have given a 4-year contract to, not the other guy, sadly. But I think Colin Sexton's going to be a fan favorite, and I think he's going to thrive in Los Angeles.
Okay, so let's get to some drunk parts of the NBA lately. I mean, this just screams Hennessy when you really think about it. If somebody makes this move, or the destination, I should say. So the Ja Morant era is over in Memphis, as the Grizzlies trade their former star to the Portland Trail Blazers in exchange for Jeremiah Grant, and then they threw in Chris Murray. Grant, of course, is a veteran. He kind of helped the Blazers last year. They're kind of going to miss him, but Ja Morant, I didn't have him going to the Blazers. I remember Timberwolves before they got LaMelo Ball. I'm trying to remember where I think the Warriors could have been a spot, but going to Portland was just a shocker to me. I guess I'll go first on this, Isaiah, where Ja just needs to go have a change of scenery somewhere else, basically. Now there's 3 guards already on the team, but they're all shooters. Morant isn't. So it's going to be interesting how they spread the floor out. I know Morant was saying that he wanted to try to dunk on everybody less, become a more controlled player. So he'll need to kind of, let his foot off the gas a little bit, Isaiah, here, where he's going to have to, stand in the corner, work on his three-point shooting. You have Damian Lillard already there, so he'll take the wing and the straightaway threes, from the logos. We hope he plays too, Lillard. I really miss watching him play and shoot. But you already have Drew Holiday there. Who's the other? Oh, Scoot Henderson's already there too. So it's a weird fit. Like, it reminds me of the Suns when they had Gordon Dragic, Brandon Knight, Eric Bledsoe, and then they added Isaiah Thomas. It just reminds me of that time. But again, John needed a change of scenery. Portland's not as both cities are horrible, but it's not Memphis though.
They love their guns though.
Both do, yeah. And Ja, yeah. We'll see
Perfect
how Ja
play.
does on and off the court in Portland. And he's going to be going through the airport too. I just thought about that a lot. But on the court, do you agree with me, Isaiah, where he'll probably need to tone, because you have first-year All-Star, David Avili, I forget his name, but he was an All-Star this year, or last year, I want to say, and he'll need the ball too. You have so many ball-dominant players on Portland, so I'm wondering how this is going to be. Last year, they shared very well. They shared the ball very well. Henderson had a great second half, but now you bring in Lillard from injury, and you trade for Morant. So how is this going to affect Avili along with the point guards shooting guards they already have on their team, Isaiah?
Well, I think it actually makes Denny Avdija better because, like, you can't really put the defense only on him now. You have to put it on Donovan Clingan. You're going to have to put on John Morant because we know even though John Morant is troubled off the court, we know that, that dude can light up buckets in a trigger. But I think with John Morant going to Portland, less distractions, less distractions.
I was throwing away a pill I dropped, and I didn't even realize I did his celebration. Throwing the grenade with the, I didn't even realize it till right now. I was like, oh, that's what I did on camera. I didn't even realize. Anyway, sorry.
Dude, we're already going off the air. I mean, we're going
Off
like
the
off
rail
the
on a
rails.
crazy
Dude.
train.
Yeah, like, I mean,
You
didn't
said
didn't
guns.
didn't he get busted? Hey, didn't he get busted for like selling? He got. I felt like he got busted with like
Three-
cocaine or something. Like there was something with that. Like you remember that?
I remember 2 guns, one in the car, one at the strip club,
Yep.
and then I want to say it's marijuana.
Oh, was it marijuana?
I don't know. Let me look that up. Go
Hey,
on
they
ahead.
love. Hey, from what it showed the last week, they love their drugs too. So,
Jeez, that's
um,
true.
but,
Yikes.
but
It
if
needs
you
a
know,
change of scenery, and it needs to happen soon because he's only
Yes.
25, and he's had a
Right.
hell of a first 7 years where it's been great, and then it turned into crap.
Yeah, I mean, change of scenery. It's definitely gonna be more quiet in Portland. Like, like you definitely not gonna have it really much.
You know
I
what,
think
Isaiah? I just
what's
thought
that?
about this real quick. I hope Damian Lillard mentors Lillard, not only on the court but off the court. Because you know how Lillard, he hated being with Milwaukee that 1 year. Like he really wanted to go back to his second home, Portland. First home is of course Oakland, but he really wanted to go back to Portland. And I just hope Lillard is there to, just help him through whatever. But Morant, with his basketball career, he just needs to learn how to defend better and then be a spot up shooter. Lillard could definitely help him not only with that, but stuff off the court.
Yeah, no, I think that would definitely help him. And I think that getting the mentorship from like a future Hall of Fame point guard, I think will definitely help. But I just think with him being in that city, there's not really a lot of stuff to do there. I mean, I've been to Portland a few times, so he's just gonna have to stick strictly to basketball. And then like you said, I think offensive or the fit on the court, I think is actually going to be better just because you have Ja, what he can do, shooting the ball, going to the basket, dunking on people. You got Donovan Clingan in the middle. You've got like that pick and roll with him and Clingan will be epic. And then you got Denya Vijay who can operate with some space with John Morant taking some of the defense away from him. So I do like the move for Portland. I like the move for like John Morant's. Like I hope just for his sake that hey, you turn your life around because like this dude's this talented basketball player. Just that it's the off the court stuff and the injuries that have been really plaguing him.
So I have all of the altercations or issues. You want me to go through them real quick for John Morant?
Of course.
Okay, so in 2022, he had the pickup basketball altercation in the summer where he was fighting allegedly with a 17-year-old. Let's see. There's a civil suit basically, and then he had the 2 guns incidents, March of 23 and May of 23. March was the one at a Denver nightclub while drunk. There's probably weed in the building. And then May of 23, there was the gun in the car on IG. He was suspended 25 games. He, of course, had the shooting, what was it? The motions and the grenade celebrations that the league didn't like as well. He had a fight at a Memphis mall in 23. Also, him and his posse had a red laser gun, and he pointed it toward the Pacer team bus outside FedEx Forum.
Wow.
So yeah, the people he hung around with was just the worst. And that's what I remember Charles Barkley always saying is like, hey, surround yourself with better people, like we don't have a lot of veterans in the league. And then especially good veterans. Like we were talking about Andre Drummond, right? Like I don't think I would want to learn anything from Andre Drummond just based on how he would act basically, right? But Lillard I think would be the right guy to kind of steer Morant the right way. I would just hope that for me, Isaiah.
Yeah, me too. I think I really want him to turn his life around in all seriousness because he's so talented. Like it's such a waste of the talent, like that the off the court stuff is just plaguing.
Yeah, so speaking of other veterans, we have some other notable NBA moves, not so drunk, I guess. But the Spurs signed Tobias Harris away from the Pistons. He was clutch for Detroit, in the first couple of rounds for Detroit. The man has made, I want to say, $333 million in his total career, contract-wise. The Sixers gave him that one contract. It was just crazy. I think it was 4-year deal, 180 mil, I want to say, but just too much for Tobias Harris, and then he didn't really live up to it. But last year, he's kind of a mentor for the Detroit Pistons, and now he's doing that for the San Antonio Spurs. This is one of those moves where it's like, hey, you don't think it's a big deal, but in the locker room, it's a big damn deal. Especially, we talked about this with the finals, Isaiah, how De'Aaron Fox just blew game 4 away, and then he didn't show up in game 5. Harper Jr., had his issues with his playing time. I believe Tobias Harris can go in there and kind of fix things up a little bit. Not play Dr. Phil or Oprah or Donahue or Jerry Springer, but just say, hey, this is the way things are supposed to work. Let's not fight with one another. Let's not try to worry about minutes. Let's do for us. One goal, one team. Let's do it. Casey King, before I go to you, says NBA is not the same as it used to be where I grew up with. Yeah, like I said on Ben's comment, Ben's video, Isaiah, I commented, a lot of things aren't the same anymore, and it's ending quicker. Like the windows are quickly ending more and more. By the way, I'll see Casey next Friday as the Padres host the Toronto Blue Jays here at Petco Park, so it's going to be fun seeing him again. Isaiah, let me go to you real quick on this. Tobias Harris going to the Spurs. He can add some scoring, a little bit of defense, but I think his mentorship would be the best thing for the Spurs right now.
Well, I think the mentorship, but hey, don't forget though, Tobias Harris proved last year that he's still got a lot left in the tank. I mean, he was a damn good player for them, especially in the playoffs, knocking down those shots, clutch shots against I think it was Orlando, especially in that, I think it was game 7 where he lit it up against Orlando. So this dude can play, and I think that he will help the Spurs tremendously, not just with leadership, but also like you mentioned down the stretch. If let's say the young guys like Harper and Castle are turning over the ball like crazy or just missing shots because they are taking panic shots and panicking because of their youth, well, you have Tobias Harris who can take a deep breath and just calmly knock down those clutch shots and be really good down the stretch. So I love this move by the Spurs. I'm surprised the Pistons let him go with what he provided for them with the leadership as well as the shot making in the postseason.
Yeah, he's just one of those. He's one of those plug-in players where you could just put him pretty much anywhere and he'll do what you expect. But like what I said about when he was with the Sixers, where it's just like, hey, you expected so much out of him just because of the contract. Do we have any other comments before we move on?
Yeah, we got one from Casey actually.
Go
Let me
ahead.
play it it's about the NBA.
As for the Lakers, it was the right move to move on LeBron. Yeah, we mentioned that before. It's just time. The chorus ran out of it, if that makes sense. And let's just move on from there. The Boston Celtics signed Mitchell Robinson and Mike Conley. Mitchell brings that defensive tenacity along with catching alley-oops and rebounding very well. He might be what the Celtics really need. Maybe not analytically, but he'll just do the dirty work, of course, maybe off the bench. And it sounded like Joe Mazzulla had a really good some comments about him in 2025 during a press conference. He mentioned that Robinson was one of those value players, and he would be a good fit on any team. And now they get to have him. Mike Conley, again, you're just there for the mentorship. He can add some threes, so he'll fit into Boston kind of well in that way. But again, you're not expecting too much out of him as you used to. So, Isaiah, what do you think quickly about what Boston signed?
I like that they got Mitchell Robinson because they needed a big in the middle, a dominant physical force of a big. They needed that because that was kind of their weakness, not just last year, but the last several years. So they didn't really have that big man that when you played a team that had like Jokic in Denver or, even with Anthony Davis with the Lakers, those
Joel
bigs would
Embiid.
What's that?
No, like he's gonna be on Joel Embiid when they play the
Yeah.
Sixers. That's gonna be fun.
Dude, Joel Embiid like he took over the series. That's why the Sixers ended up winning that because he took over. Because the Celtics didn't have a big. So they addressed that need, but Boston is such a weird team because like if they did all this and kept Jaylen Brown, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is a great offseason." But you did all this and you traded Jaylen Brown for an injury-prone Paul George. Like, what are you doing? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, Mike Conley, I guess he still got some left in the tank, but like, maybe he can make the wide open threes, but like, that's really about it. Like, I don't understand that. They're not a young team. Like, they don't really need like veteran leadership because they have Tatum, they have like Pritchard, they have all these guys that have won championships. So like Boston is one team that I'm just like, I don't know what they're doing, honestly.
It's puzzling, but in a way it's kind of saving face. It's like, hey, don't worry about what we just traded away. Worry about what we're gonna bring in and how we're gonna lie to you. Kind of what the Angels do in a way. But it feels like that way where they're just saving face and they're staying under that umbrella where they can't go over it. They're just being smart with the money that they might not have right away. Norman Powell, the former Clipper, Raptor, Miami Heat player, and from San Diego, he left Miami via free agency to go to the Chicago Bulls, where he's going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Again, he's going to be that spot-up shooter. He could drive the lane, hit the mid-range as well. He's one of those value players that don't be shocked too if a team before they trade deadline goes after Norman Powell from the Bulls, and let's see what they give up. But right now for the Bulls, they need all the help they can get going young, especially with the two they drafted early in the NBA draft this year. Norman Powell, Isaiah going to the Bulls. He'll just bring scoring, but that's all I know.
He got a big deal, so I guess he went there for the money. Bulls really won't be doing much next season. I do like the hire of Thiago Splitter. I think he's good. He's the right coach to develop them. That's what they really need. Norman Powell, I mean, he gives you like shooting and scoring, like kind of like Colin Sexton, but an older version. I'm surprised he left Miami because like you're not gonna win with the Bulls. Like the Heat, at least you have Giannis, you have Andrew Wiggins who opted in, you have Bam. Like yeah, I know, right? With Andrew Wiggins, but
Wiggins. I thought he was gonna get traded.
I know, like everybody thought when the Giannis trade happened that Wiggins and Jovic was gonna be guaranteed to be in that deal, but none of them went. So I thought he was going to stay in Miami because I thought Norman Powell would give the Heat like some shooting and some scoring and some like guard play, but I guess he went for the money.
Yeah, it's a good move just for his pocket as well, and it shows that hey, he's put in the work for so many years to get that contract, and he's been undervalued, being traded everywhere. So you mentioned with Luke Kennard, so he signs with the Phoenix Suns. And Phoenix awkwardly acquired Miles Bridges away from the Charlotte Hornets in a package headlined by Grayson Allen. It's a weird fit, Miles Bridges with Phoenix. They have, the Suns, they have put together some weird teams. I mean, acquiring and via free agency too. And drafting, it's been weird. Like they have what Dylan Brooks, still have Devin Booker, but you're still missing that point guard. And then you trade Grayson Allen, who's been one of your key players because they learned how to shoot threes from Lethal Shooter. And Miles Bridges, you get him, and you feel like, he's a good plug-in guy. His contract is awful. He's not going to shoot three well, so I don't know how he's going to fit with Phoenix. And then with Grayson Allen, he's just another floor spreader for the Charlotte Hornets.
I think for the Phoenix Suns, for me as a Laker fan, losing Luke Kennard really hurts because I really wanted him ever since, I saw him with your Clippers, James, and he kept bombing the crap out of 3-point land. And I mean, this dude was just marvelous from three. So for the Lakers to not bring him back, it sucks. Phoenix is getting a really good 3-point shooter who can be very spotty at times. Like sometimes he'll look like Steph Curry, and then the next game he'll be like 0 for 8. But still, like the threat for him from three, I mean, it's absolutely lethal. So I like that move by the Suns. As far as the Bridges trade is concerned, this one was weird. Like this one just came out of nowhere. Like, what is Charlotte doing? Is my question. Like, you got Con Knipple there. By the way, I've always thought that Grayson Allen and Con Knipple kind of looked alike. So now they're united together in Charlotte. So I guess you won't be able to tell the difference now between those two.
That's your new favorite team now. They have your type.
Oh my God.
Prototype, right? Prototype.
Why do you think I like the Sharks, dude? Why do you think I like the Sharks? It's not just a Bay Area team.
End this.
I think it's a good move. I mean, it's a weird move for Charlotte just because you had all the success and now LaMelo and Bridges is gone. Brandon Miller, can't trust him to stay healthy. You got Con Knipple there. Like I guess you're building around him. I guess he's the guy there now. And I don't know. It's just a weird trade, like you mentioned, between Charlotte and Phoenix. Like, what is Phoenix doing too? That's another question.
I understand trading Bridges. They've been trying to do that for years for Charlotte. It's just a weird thing that you would trade LaMelo with everything you got going after the season they had, where they really picked it up. That's where it's like, okay, you're adding some players and you're trying to build very, very young, supposedly. And I understand that. And you know what's crazy, Isaiah? I'd rather be with Charlotte than Phoenix right now anyway. I just like the direction Charlotte's going. Phoenix, it's like you're putting a lineup together and you have some veterans. And it's just a weird mix.
I will counter with this though. With Bridges' skill set, with him being like a guy that's like a bowling ball, to go to in the paint, and you got Booker's ability to create and shoot. James, I hate to say it, and you're gonna call me blasphemous, but it reminds me of Nash and Stoudemire. That's what Phoenix, I think, is building. Well, Booker can shoot, Booker can pass, and also Booker creates. And then you got Bridges like being that force in the paint that like can get whatever he wants in there. It reminds me of that.
No way.
Why?
So you're not comparing Nash to Booker because that's a different skill set.
Well, no, I think Booker is a better player than Nash, though. Well, in terms of no. In terms of scoring, I think he's better than Nash.
No. I don't even know why. What I'm gonna be like Dan Patrick. Why am I yelling right now? That's why I like his show because he doesn't yell or whatever. Like that's blasphemy, like Stephen A. would yell. I don't want to hear that while I'm drinking my coffee at 7 a.m. So, no, yeah, I guess you're talking about like impact, like stars, but dude, Nash was already an all like. No, Nash won.
I'm talking about
MVPs.
but I'm talking about like I'm not talking about their resumes though. I'm talking about like their playing styles. Like Booker is the guy that shoots and passes and creates, which was what Nash was. Booker doesn't have the vision like Nash has. Like no. That's why I don't like that. And then Stoudemire, Bridges, right? Like, yeah, he's a high flyer and all that crap, but he's not as skilled as a scorer like Stoudemire was. Stoudemire could go get his own basket. Miles Bridges, you have to throw the ball to for an alley-oop, right?
Stoudemire learned how to play the post at a good rate, right? So to me, it's not. You can't compare both. That won't happen. Not here. I think you're drunk, Isaiah, on that. By the way, the 76ers, they signed Dean Wade along with Anthony Simons. Both can spread the floor, shoot a three. I don't think there's much to say about that. The Pacers signed Kelly Oubre, still in the league and still doing cheap shots, I would guess. Houston Rockets signed Marcus Smart away from the Lakers and re-signed Tari Eason. Both are going to be two great plugs into that Rocket team, but we're going to still try to figure out what they'll do with the offseason. Like if they're going to trade, Kevin Durant or what's his name?
Dude, apparently
Sagoon.
Apparently Boston was offered a deal that would have sent, so it was a 3-team trade that would have sent Kevin Durant to Detroit, Houston would have gotten Jaylen Brown, and then Boston would have gotten Anthony Sengun, and that's not a bad trade. Like, that's definitely way better than the Paul George. Yeah, like, so I don't understand why, like, Detroit, I think Boston or Detroit turned it down, and then Boston takes Jaylen Brown and gets Paul George. Like, what? That's what makes the Paul George trade even worse. But about the whole like Marcus Smart thing, I mean, Marcus Smart brings like, I guess, the defensive intensity.
Is gonna love him.
Yes, he will. With the defensive intensity, the ruggedness, he can shoot from time to time. But like, I still think for the Rockets, still, James, they need a point guard because that offense after Van Vliet went down.
I said that last year. Well, Fred Van Vliet's going to be back.
Oh, that's right. He is going to come back. But is he going to be the same, though? That's the question.
Yeah, that is true.
And Dean Wade and Simmons going to the Sixers, like Dean Wade provides like shooting. He was really clutch for the Cavs, and then Simmons shooting as well. So like Philadelphia's offense is going to be like amazing next year.
Yeah, they're going to be shooting the lights out, and we'll follow how that goes. So let's talk about some free agents who haven't signed yet. Like, which ones are surprising to you? If you want me to go through them, I don't know.
Sure, if you want.
Landry Shamet
by the way,
signed.
James, before you continue, according to Steven, Rui Hachimura is in talks with Golden State at the moment. Don't know how that's going to go. Don't know what they can offer him, but that's so just the news.
LeBron's going to like Hachimura that much to bring him back, even though he missed a lot of threes, even though he's so off and on. You know that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So, some free agents that are still out there. I guess I'll go with the most important ones. Excuse me, I hate saying that, but Bruce Brown there with the Nuggets. We'll see if he comes back. Russell Westbrook. Let's see. Of course, LeBron James, James Harden, if James doesn't decide to go back. I mentioned Drummond, Harrison Barnes. Let's see. Who else? With the Clippers, Benedict Mathurin, but I think he's going to re-up. Jalen Duran is the one out there, and nobody knows right now where he's going to go. Nicholas Batum. Says DeAndre Ayton here, but player option. But that's it. D'Angelo Russell, if you want him.
Oh my gosh, D'Angelo
Lopez is there.
Good Lord.
CJ McCollum re-up. John Collins, I forget where he went.
Oh, he went to he went to like Miami, right? Or no?
I forget. I'll look it up. But Kelly Oubre Jr., I think, is free agent too.
No, he signed with Indiana.
No, that's right. Indiana.
Oubre went to Indiana, yeah.
Robert Williams, I think, went to... No, he's a free agent. Mark Williams is back with the Suns. Kessler, of course, went to the Lakers. But let's just say this. The shocking ones are LeBron, I guess, and Jalen Duran. I think a lot of people are just hesitant on signing him to that price Duran once, because he had a great first half, but not a great second half in playoffs. He just disappeared like Julius Randle would. So let me get, what was that name again? Where John Collins signed.
John Collins.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat. But what free agents to you are shocked that hasn't been signed yet in the NBA?
I'm not really as shocked as you are about LeBron, just because I think LeBron's going to take his time. I think LeBron is going to sign probably by July 4th or 5th, because it seems like the superstars always waited out. So I think that's when he's going to sign. Maybe, probably, yeah, Duran, because Duran, he's going to be at a standstill with the Pistons, because him and the Pistons want him to get only $25 million. He wants the max. The Lakers were willing to give him the max before they landed Kessler. So thank God they didn't do that nonsense, because I would have been raging if they ended up re-signing or signing Duran to a max. By the way, John Collins, I saw your message, James. He is with the Detroit Pistons, which I think that's a decent move for them. I think he's the replacement for Tobias Harris. And he gives them another force in the paint. As far as the other players that haven't re-signed yet or haven't signed anywhere, I'm gonna say Bruce Brown, just because the impact. I know he had a down year last year, but still, I mean, the guy can get buckets, the guy can shoot. You would think he would have gotten snatched up already. But other than that, I don't really have one. I think I'm more interested to see the trades, because I think we have more more anticipated trade candidates this year than signings. I'm surprised Kevin Durant hasn't been traded yet, despite all the rumors. I'm surprised, the Rockets haven't really done anything to shake up their team. It seemed like they were heading that way. I'm surprised Denver hasn't done anything, because it seems like the rumors were that Jamal Murray, Christian Braun, anybody outside of Jokic were on the table. People were talking about potentially Michael Porter Jr., getting traded as well. I'm surprised Denver hasn't done any. It seemed like Denver was going to do something, but they just haven't. And then, I'm looking at the others, the other trade candidates. Klay Thompson has been on the board for many months now. It seems like he's either going to get traded or bought out. DeMar DeRozan, I doubt the Kings are going to find a trade partner for him. But yeah, I'm more interested in the trade candidates. I think I'm surprised and shocked that we haven't seen anything from the Rockets or the Nuggets at this point. Oh, and then I forgot, James. Jonathan Kuminga is another one that I'm shocked that, hasn't been signed yet. You would think he would be signed because of the tantalizing talent that he possesses, and he's young. So you would think that would be a guy that everybody would want. But unfortunately, he hasn't been signed yet. But and then I guess Rui, because I thought Rui, there were a lot of rumors connecting Rui to the Spurs and connecting Rui to other places, and that he was for sure going to leave the Lakers, but it seems like his market sadly has dried out. So I'm surprised that he hasn't signed as well. But it looks like James is doing something right now. So we will go to our next segment, which is the baseball segment. Oh, we got you, James?
Yeah, go on ahead.
I don't know if you saw what I said. I said I'm more interested about the trade candidates, and I'm shocked that nothing has happened in H-Town or Denver yet.
Right, the deals weren't the offers were not well enough to get it done, probably. But you still have, sometimes, Isaiah, the deals are done in September, where you're getting into training camp and you're just feeling like someone's going to be a distraction. They're not going to go with the program. Remember Ben Simmons that one year in training camp where he just didn't want to be there?
Making a comeback, by the way.
What the? Okay, so that's I'm gonna just say in September there's gonna be a bombshell probably where I think the big trade's already done, and if a team is desperate enough like the Rockets where KD has just become just a distraction, then you'll see something done. That's
One
what I'll.
one one last thing before we exit out of the NBA is I think you're gonna see a bombshell drop like either on or before July 4th because normally it just seems like in the NBA during
Yeah,
that free agency
yeah.
period or trade, you always see something happen on July 4th. Like it just seems like
Summer
it. Like
league.
the KD to the Warriors, then KD gets traded, I think, to the Rockets to the Rockets. Like literally, like at the or at the on July 4th, Gordon Hayward signing with the Celtics, leaving the Jazz couple that time. So it always seems like something always goes down on July 4th.
But
Oh, how
but
about
with
Josh?
the new umbrella rules,
Right.
though, I think teams are more handicapped. They're not going to be as loose with their moves. They have to be more articulate with how they build their roster, how to get under a certain floor. I
True.
think teams are just going to be a little bit hesitant to do something quickly.
I think
That's all I think.
I could see LeBron signing with a team like on July 4th or after July 4th because I think he's
Well, you
signing
just
when
said
he's signed.
trades, though.
Oh,
You just said
I mean,
trades. That's where
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going.
Oh, okay. Anthony Davis could be traded.
But that's only if the league, like in my opinion. Okay, in my opinion, if the league forces Washington to make that trade to make LeBron's last year, fun with Curry, and it would be something that Anthony Davis. I don't think he ever played a game with Washington yet.
No, I
He
don't
just
think
had
he ever did.
He just had picture day with him and Trey. Basically, that was it. Let's get to the major leagues because we've had some movement and we had some other movement happen. The New York Mets. I mean, you're talking about misery. Like, dude, what the hell? They've had errors. They've had bad pitching. They've had some key strikeouts by their catcher. Just a lot of things have gone wrong for this year's New York Mets. Juan Soto has kind of been, they're consistent at the plate, but without the polar bear, without Nimmo, it seems like they don't have a direction, and it shows here. The Mets finally fired manager Carlos Mendoza after a month ago? They gave him a seal of approval, or saying that they weren't going to fire him. The president came out Stearns and said that. Well, after last year's massive collapse and this year's horrific start, David Stearns fired Mendoza, and a lot of it could be on him for the first time manager. But how much of this is also on David Stearns, and is his days number 2, Isaiah?
I think I'm not surprised Mendoza got fired because I think someone was going to have to pay for this mess that the Mets are in. I thought he should have been fired last year, James. Like after the Mets made that massive collapse where they were leading the NL East by a lot of games, and then they collapsed, and then they dropped into the wild card, and then they collapsed there and missed the playoffs. I think on the final day or the second to the last day. I thought he was going to be gone because Steve Cohen, he's not patient, and when nonsense like that happens, that's an embarrassment for him. And when owners are embarrassed, they make firings left and right. So I thought he was going to be gone there, but not surprised that he got fired just because like with the Mets, like that organization is not going anywhere. They've just been a mess all season long. It just seems like it's like the Mets and the Angels, like the two teams we're going to talk about tonight. They like to fire GMs and fire managers left and right. So I'm not surprised at all. I never really liked Mendoza because I think like with the Mets, like they were supposed to get Craig Counsell, but then Craig Counsell went to the Cubs. He didn't follow Stearns to the Mets, and then they went with a first-time manager, which makes no sense, especially in a market like New York. You can't do that. So I think with the Mets, they need an experienced manager. They need a manager that I feel like will disagree with David Stearns and like kind of say no because Mendoza felt like the puppet for David Stearns. You know, James, I will bring up a name or bring in a couple of names.
Buck Showalter.
No, I don't think he would go back though. I can't see him going back. Like people are going to say Alex Cora, but I think Alex Cora is going to go to Philly. I think that's where he ultimately goes, unless Don Mattingly gets the interim tag taken off, maybe. But Joe Girardi. Joe Girardi.
No.
Because dude, like because Joe Girardi would not take crap from David Stearns. Like he would Stearns would do his thing and then Girardi would be able to manage the team. Like, and I think that's what the Mets need. Like they Mendoza was such a pushover, dude, like that I just think like Lindor and Soto, they didn't really respect him. Like he was just like a yes man, basically. If you get Joe Girardi in there, like Joe Girardi would have order in the clubhouse. So I think he would be a great fit.
But Juan Soto would Lindor and Soto would just destroy him in the clubhouse. They wouldn't listen to him or anything.
Yeah, but then that means it's on the players then. Then there's really no
But you're
saving.
not gonna trade either of those guys away.
No, you can't. Nobody's taking on that.
So you can't have like a demonstrative manager on the team. There's no way.
I want to say, how about Bruce Bochy?
No, he's too old for that crap.
Or how about Bob Melvin? Because he was.
You know what? That would be. Yeah, he had to manage some Eagles before with the Giants.
Yep.
And the Padres. It would fit. It would fit well, but then it wouldn't last long like the stops he's had. So, I think you just go young again. You go young. You're gonna go with like a first timer. I mean, look at Carlos Mendoza, right? He had all those years coaching with the Yankees, making it from the minors to the majors on the bench with Boone, right? So I don't know if you go across the boroughs again to see what the Yankees have, but you don't go to Philly, but you have to see how other teams are handling analytics, and then you go either like the Dodgers, or you see how the Rays how they are doing things, and if there's a manager there possibly, but you don't go a big name.
Well, and then to your question about Stearns, like is Stearns how much is Stearns to blame? I think he's probably to blame like 70 or 60, I would say 65% of the mess, because he's the guy that built the roster and he's the guy that traded, Nimmo, who's having an outstanding season in Texas right now, for Simeon, and Simeon's always hurt or not performing. He didn't re-sign the Polar Bear, who was a huge fan favorite. I know he traded for Freddie Peralta, and Freddie Peralta, he's at fault because Freddie Peralta's not performing. I mean, that guy, his ERA is what, like 7
plus, I think.
7 plus. And then like the other pitchers just aren't working out. Like Kodai Senga, he's always hurt.
Keeps getting hurt. Yeah,
he keeps getting hurt. He's in the bullpen now, I think. They brought in Jose Quintana. I think that's what happened.
Devin Williams,
Luke Weaver.
Awful. Luke Weaver's nothing. Like they brought basically the Yankees. They brought whoever the kid from New York. I mean, from the other New York team, like Soto too. Think about it.
Right.
Soto, Williams, Mendoza, and then you mentioned Luke Weaver. It's just the pressure on Steve Cohen. Because he doesn't care. He spends no matter what.
Right. And
that's what the New York people want to see. And I think it's going to just take another horrible season for Cohen to really decide on Stearns. I don't.
Season. I don't think Stearns is going to get fired because not Mendoza. Cohen tried his darndest to try to get Stearns for many years. So, like, he's not going to give up on Stearns, but.
And gave him free range to go after whoever too.
Right. Like
So if anything, that's Cohen. That's Cohen and his crazy spending, right? That's just him approving every deal.
I still don't think that like that Stearns wanted Soto. I'm of the belief that he did because
Ooh.
he doesn't fit what David Stearns wants to do. Like David Stearns comes like from like the Andrew Friedman, where it's like cost, like we want to be cost effective.
Yeah.
Like
That
we don't want to
is
give out
interesting.
12-year contracts or whatever. Like I think Cohen went behind Stearns' back and did that because he wanted a star and he wanted to keep Soto from New York.
Move. It was a panic move.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Right.
So we'll follow that. By the way, if you ever see on YouTube, John Dadow's shorts, and you see how he's yelling after every Mets era and lost, it's just so much fun to watch his shorts. I don't know if you've seen him, Isaiah, but this guy from New York, I think he just rants and raves on the Mets, and there's been so much content, I guess, to point out. Just crazy. Any comments before we get to our next topic?
Yeah, we have Casey King, who it's not about the Angels or the Mets, but it's about the Padres.
So, Casey says, as for the Padres, as a baseball fan, they need to trade off some players and rebuild their minor league system. Of course, Casey is a Dodger fan saying that, and I'm just kidding.
Did they blow it tonight? Did the Padres really end up blowing it tonight?
Well, they were up 6-0, and then Los Angeles came back and scored 11 unanswered runs, I think.
Jeez.
I think LA won 11-6. It
So
was
that's
just a wild game.
So that's why Callan left, because he needed to save face.
Oh boy! And then it doesn't help the day before in Chicago, the wind was blowing out, and the Padres lost 23-3 at Wrigley. Dansby Swanson had 3 home runs. His last one was a grand slammer. Just weird times for the Padres. They go week by week, right? With winning, losing. So tune in next week to see what San Diego does. And yeah, it did feel like a shot. But we'll see what the Padres do. It's if you're competing or if you're not, they just don't have the play. Like the big money players, it's like you don't want to take on any other contracts. It's as simple as that, right? So unless they're a pitcher. So they don't have a lot to give up in the first place.
Well, James, I will say this. I mean, if there's one common denominator, if let's say the Padres fall out, if there's one common denominator that he needs to go, like we talk about Stearns maybe leaving, AJ Preller should have been gone 2 years ago.
I think they just re-up him, though.
Yeah,
they just re-signed him. And he's supposedly from the new ownership, he's going to have more money to work with.
Oh, of course.
So he's going to tear up that the rest of the farm system. They're just going to say F them prospects even more. It feels like. Okay, are we ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's do it.
You want me to go first, or you want to introduce it so I can yell?
Yeah, okay. I will introduce it. Give my little
sense
of it, and then you can go. All right. So I was at the Sharks draft party. I didn't even know this actually happened, but it went down literally when the draft was going on for the NHL. The almost said the San Jose Sharks. The Los Angeles Angels. James's Los Angeles Angels.
Don't say LA.
Fine. They're the Anaheim Angels. How about that? The Anaheim Angels. Artie Moreno has fired general manager Perry Manassian after 6 years at the helm there in Anaheim.
21, 22.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think yeah. So
22.
22. Okay, so 4 or 5 years. Perry Manassian fired by the Angels. He ran through, I think, 3 managers there in Anaheim. And the Angels never had a winning record under him. Never even had a 500 record under him. Never
even Washington and Suzuki.
Oh, so 4 managers then.
Yeah.
But one was on an interim basis.
Well, it turned out he stayed another year. It was Phil Nevin.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, and then last year with Washington leaving, because of health reasons. There was somebody else. I'm trying to remember who it was. Oh, it was one of their bench coaches. Ray Montgomery. Ray Montgomery was the intern for Ron Washington last year.
Okay, so the Angels have ran through 5 managers in like 6 seasons under Perry
2020
Manassian.
to 2020 was when he started.
Okay, so
he ended up. I don't know if he signed Rendon because I remember that was December of 19. So they didn't have a GM at the time, or no, they had the other one.
They had Billy Epler.
Yeah.
Billy
So
Epler.
that was like the last thing with Rendon going there because they couldn't get Garrett Cole.
But James, Perry Manassian fired after 6 years, 5 managers, 4 managers, 1 interim, so 5 managers total under him. You know, my thoughts on this before you go and do your whole rant is I'm not surprised because Perry Manassian was working on like his last year of his deal. Like the Angels suck. Manassian was working on his last year. He was going to get let go either now or at the end of the year. And I guess it made sense for them to. I guess the one thing I'll give Artie credit was he fired him like before the draft, so that like you have. Well, you don't want like people that you're not going to have employed in the organization be running the draft like when they're not going to be employed next year. So like, I guess that's the smart move. But I guess this also means that Kurt Suzuki, who's from Hawaii, where I'm from, is all but done in Anaheim as well. I do like Mozeliak, who they brought in because he does have experience with the Cardinals, and he led them to a bunch of playoff appearances. So I guess he knows what a competent organization looks like, so he can try to build something there for like the interim basis. But James, what is your thoughts? You know, we've been waiting all week for this ever since this news broke that fateful Friday night. What is your thoughts on this news that Perry Manassian, you always rant about him, is gone in Anaheim? And the last thing I'll say to you before you go, take it from me, dude, as a Sharks fan. It was ugly, but we got, you know, the bright star in Macklin Celebrini and turned it around. So there is hope. There is hope. But what is your thoughts on, hey, if the Sharks can turn it around after all the bad luck that we had and the BS, like, hey, you guys can turn it around too. But what is your thoughts on your Angels firing Perry Manassian?
All right, so for more Angels coverage, go to the Heedy Network, Halos in the Infield. I write for the Substack there, along with some shorts, and there's a post-game show every day by Todd there after every Angel game. So we kind of went all in. But I had a different opinion about the firing than I think everybody else, where I felt like it wasn't his fault. He did what he was allowed only to do, okay? Artie Moreno, the owner of the Angels, just has a grip on the team and any final say. You know, he has the veto power. So it's what he wanted to spend or what he was allowed to spend or to play with, basically, for Perry Manassian. And, you know, it didn't matter who was the GM to me, just because I felt like Artie was going to meddle and everything. So again, he wasn't allowed to do much, and the team just went and signed Dollar Tree players, and it just really hurt seeing that happen. But I just knew Perry was never at fault in a way. Yes, he did make a couple crazy moves, but he had to basically make a 1-star dish, or I'm sorry, a 5-star dish with 1-star ingredients. And he could never get to that level. He could never cook in that kitchen. They tried in 23, remember, to show that Shohei Ohtani, you know, if you stay, we're gonna help you try to get to the postseason. And of course that didn't happen. But it's just going to happen to the next GM. I mean, Artie has that damn stranglehold on the team, and that's the unfortunate part. The GM isn't allowed to do much. It's basically the opposite of you know, Steve Cohen with David Stearns, where it's like, hey, spend on whatever. I want to get us back to the World Series and win it. With the Angels, though, it's keep everything cheap, try to find players on the cheap, and try to turn 1-year wonders with someone else into, long career stars, and they only last, well, not even a year with Anaheim. And it's just that confusing. And for the Angels now, hiring John Mozeliak as the intern GM, it's good because he's a great draft evaluator. He did that with the Cardinals, and then after a while, the touch was gone, I guess. Like, there was no direction with the Cardinals after a while. Now they've decided to go young, and that's what the Angels have been deciding to do, but they've gone young the wrong way. And Mozeliak can help at least with the draft. The weird thing I think about the way he was hired was Molly Jolly, the president. Yes, that's her name, Molly Jolly, was just hiring him just based on availability. John didn't even want to do it. I don't think he's interested to even, if they asked him to come back and be the full-time GM, I don't think he even wants to be. So it is just for the draft for John, and the Angels will pick 12th in the draft this month. I can't believe I'm saying this month already. He will be just running things. I did like what he said, where he said a lot of things have gone wrong here in the past, and I just want to get it straightened out the time I'm going to be here. So it won't be long, but hopefully he makes an impact that will just make the Angels go a certain direction. Now, what didn't help Perry Manassian, let me go back to that real quick. With Perry Manassian, this season, I think, was the last straw. He was not allowed to trade any of the young players, any players that are worth anything, like Detmer, Soriano, Adele. Trout didn't waive his no-trade clause. They're not going to trade Neto or a Hoppy, even though I think I should. And check out the Halos in the Infield Substack for that opinion that I had about trading Ohapi and Neto. I think it stirred some people. But if you're really looking to tear down and build up again, you have to get rid of something of worth to get back something of worth for you down the line. And Perry was never allowed to do that. And I think Perry just had enough of it and said, okay, once you announced a couple of weeks ago that you're not allowing me to trade whomever I want to get better, and I'm on the last year of a deal, why am I here wasting my damn time? And Perry just had enough of that, I believe, and that was it. So Manassian, we'll see what happens with him. And Isaiah, let's get to a brawl that happened with the Red Sox and Nationals. I think it was on Tuesday, and this leaked out on Monday too. But Wilson Contreras, man, he's had a couple of interesting days last week and this week. I do have to mention too, he's kind of in a bad space because of the Venezuelan earthquakes, the double earthquakes that happened, and he's probably lost a lot of good people. You see people wearing the VZ on their hats, representing Venezuela, and I think he's emotional. He's always emotionally driven. We know that about Contreras. They could trade him possibly, but let's start off though on Monday. Let me say this. On Monday, he had an ejection because he tapped his helmet toward the first base umpire. The first base umpire is a young one, and he's trained, hey, if anybody's tapping their helmet as a mocking or whatever to you, take it personal and eject him. And that's what happened. Then we go to Tuesday, and this is versus the Nationals. You had a pitcher strike out Wilson Contreras and called him, or said, sit down, boy, I think it was. And then Contreras comes out, says, are you talking to me? What did you say to me? So he comes out there. They get in a little tussle. Contreras sees that pitcher and I forget his name. Is it Nate Eden? No, not Nate Eden, but Cade Cavalli, I think was his name, Isaiah?
Cade
Was the starting
Cavalli, yeah.
pitcher for
Cade
the
Cavalli.
Nationals. So Cade Cavalli, he's being backed up. He sees Contreras, charging at him. There's a bunch of players in between. Cavalli takes off his hat, and I think that speared Contreras taking off his helmet. And at first, he tried to swing his helmet, and he missed. And then he ended up throwing his helmet, trying to throw it toward Cavalli, but instead he hit another Washington National that ended up going after Contreras. And then you had Miles Michalakis and Nate Eden. These are two pitchers that are just on the bench. They get into like a Greco-Roman wrestling kind of thing where they're just like jostling together. Eden goes down because Mikolas throws him down. But after all this, Contreras and Cavalli, is this right, Isaiah? They get suspended 7 games. Mikolas and Eden also get suspensions as well, but far less. But it's just been a wild year with Boston. Like, a lot of things have gone wrong. They just come off sweeping the Yankees on the weekend, which is a great feat. But Contreras, I think just with everything going on in his world, he just had enough, and it's just been a weird season for him. He is hitting home runs, too. But this is just, one of those ego things. Cavalli shouldn't have said what he said, and he came out and said it was wrong. I'll never do it again. He did say that yesterday. I want to say I didn't hear anything from Contreras, but he's just been an emotional person, I would say, right now. So you would figure, Isaiah, as the heat gets hotter, the weather gets hotter, we'll see more heated exchanges, you would think.
The Contreras stuff, like the first night, I'm not mad at him because I thought that was so soft by the umpire. Like, the guy's just tapping his helmet, like you really kicked the dude out over that. Like, come on, man. That's
Isaiah,
so
by the way,
soft.
let me mention, I saw the ejection, and he came over. He didn't run over to that umpire, but he went over to explain what he was doing. So I did like that by Contreras, because Contreras, he could have went over there running and just like pushed the umpire, bumping the umpire. He wouldn't swing at the umpire. That'd be crazy. But he would have done something else. So he kind of took the Miguel Cabrera route a little more, where he was nicer in that way. I was kind of shocked by that because it was just, again, like you said, it was a shocking ejection that probably shouldn't have happened. But when you add the ABS challenge, the umpires have already worked with all the minor league players that have maybe demonstratively did that. But, people tap their helmets all the damn time. So I hated that. I hated that ejection, but the second night, though, it's just unfortunate to see.
Well, what was the second night? There was something that happened in the second night, right?
The brawl happened.
The first night he hit the home run and he pounded his chest like for Venezuela. Like, I love that from him. Like, I felt so bad for him.
Okay, I forgot to mention that. I did see that, and I hope the national pitchers didn't. I know probably in the moment they took it personal, but hopefully now they're like, okay, I know why he did that.
Yeah. He wasn't trying to like taunt the Nationals. No. He was like it was for his country that there was a big earthquake that happened. Yeah. The brawl. I don't blame him too for the brawl, because here's the thing, like he struck out, right? Or he struck out looking, and Cavalli just, I don't know what he was doing, but like it wasn't like he just out of nowhere said like sit your ass down or something like that. And
sit down, boy.
Well, then
sit down, boy.
Yeah, like, dude, if you call anybody a boy, like as an adult, like we're throwing hands. Like, I'm sorry about that. That's what's happening. Like, you're not doing that. Like, you're not doing that nonsense. But Yeah, if someone were to like, we're playing basketball, and someone were to call me a boy or tell me to sit down, boy, like that is an insult. Like
I'm gonna do that
it's
when we play.
disgraceful.
I'm gonna say
Oh
that.
yeah, and then we'll be fighting on the court. But
You
uh, um, but nah, like I don't blame him because like, hey, anybody that does that, like, yeah, you're bound to like have something like that happen. I don't know what Cavalli was doing. I know maybe it's heat of the moment type thing,
Yeah.
but yeah, as far as the other like fight, like, hey, I like watching MLB fights because like they are very interesting. You never really see them a
they
lot
used
now.
to be. They used to be.
Well, now it's a lot of pushing and shoving. That's basically it. You don't really see like punches being thrown or guys getting wrestled to the ground, but I think like the punishment, I'm not surprised because Contreras and Cavalli were the two guys that were like the instigators of this whole like brawl. So them getting 7 games, not surprising. I thought Cavalli should have gotten like 10 because you're the one that started it. You're the one that started the whole situation. But then like didn't Eaton and Mikolas or whatever his name is, didn't they both get like 4 or 5 games?
I didn't see, but it's way less than what they got. Yeah.
Yeah, they were just wrestling on the floor. That's what they were doing. But yeah, no, that was interesting. I mean, I feel bad for Contreras. Maybe he needs to take maybe like a week off just to like decompress and then get.
Well, he just got suspended, so yes.
Oh yeah. No, it'll help him. It will help him for sure. Maybe he'll go back to Venezuela to like to try to see the damage and help out. It'll be good.
Break coming up too,
right? It'll be a good way for him to get away and decompress.
And we'll see if he gets traded or not too. We'll see that as well.
You really think someone's gonna take that big fat contract of his though?
Well, it's a small one, right? Not a big.
Is it? I thought he was still under contract for like 3 years.
We'll see.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I'll look right now. Anything else, Isaiah? You want to close up?
Yeah. The last part. How about my Rangers? 7 out of 8 wins. We are thriving. Phillies split with the Pirates today. They badly need another starter. Nola and whoever's the 5th guy that was supposed to be Painter's spot is not it.
Didn't y'all make a trade or something?
We got Derek Hall.
Scenario.
Okay. No, that was scenario. Like
I don't like those. Those throw me off.
People are talking about Sonny Gray to Philly potentially.
That would help. The Padres need him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you have him. Okay. I want Brian Wu. That's the guy that I want, honestly. But I doubt the Mariners would make that deal.
So he's signed through 2027, 5 years, 87 mil.
Contreras.
Yeah, he has a 28 team option. So he'll be a free agent in 28. So from 23 to 28, he's getting paid in that 5-year deal. It's not as much, though. It's not as much as you think, I guess. But he's not. He has 18 home runs, yes. But you never know. He could be like that spark plug for like that team that needs that little, But yeah, you'd have to take on that deal or ask Boston to take some of it. But it'd be interesting, like a team. I'm not saying this, but if like Cleveland or Tampa Bay, depending on what you can take with that contract, do you risk that to have, some more pop in the lineup? That would be interesting. And it's another catcher too, or you can have him at first or DH as well. So just look out for that because Boston, of course, they're looking to maybe unload some players they tried to last year too, because they're having unfortunately a bad year.
Come here.
You never know, like if they get on a run.
Who, the Rangers?
Yeah, if they get on a run, maybe you take on some of that money too. But
they are winning. I mean, Wyatt Langford, by the way, is out. He pulled a hammy, so Yeah, he came back, was doing really well, and then all of a sudden pulled a hammy, and now he's out until after the All-Star break, so can't stop getting hurt.
Real quick. I'll talk about the Angels real quick.
Yeah, talk about the
They
Angels.
had a 3-game series in Seattle. They had to take yesterday off because of the World Cup game. I think Ghana and Bolivia were playing at across the street at the what is it, Lumen Field it's called now? Lumen Field? It used to be CenturyLink and
Lumen Field.
Yeah. What was the other name? Quest Field, Seahawks Stadium when it first opened. Just so many different names, but that was going on, so they didn't want to. Remember, I think in last year in the playoffs, the Seahawks had a football game, but also the Mariners had a playoff game going at the same time. Or one was at 1:00, and then the other was moved. I think the Mariner game was moved to like 5:00. Seahawks game was at 1, of course. Well, they just didn't want to deal with that. So the Angels and Mariners took yesterday off. It didn't matter either because the Mariners swept the Angels. They lost 6-2 Monday, 8-3 Tuesday, and then 1-0 tonight. Urena had a good run until he walked in a run. They had a better start than he had last Saturday. Last Saturday, by the way, the A's came to the Big A, and the Angels actually won 2 out of 3. Before that, they hosted Baltimore and took 2 out of 3. So there was a little bit of not enthusiasm, but just like, oh well, maybe they're gonna buy because the owner doesn't want to trade any of their talent away and not move on like they should have years ago. It's funny how a sweep will humble you and make you want to. It makes you want to hope that Moslak tells Artie, like, hey, you've been doing it wrong all these damn years. You have to rebuild the right way. I don't care if you're in the LA market and you're competing with the Dodgers, which you're not. You're not competing at all. Trade and get younger. That's what I'm here for. Okay, so the Angels host Boston. Speaking of not seeing Contreras, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, of course, 4th of July. Be careful with the fireworks. Don't be like Jason Pierre-Paul and lose a couple of fingers. Just stay away from that. Watch it in the air. Someone else got. Oh, what's his name? Najee Harris last offseason.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Chargers just signed him. They, I think a spark hit his eye, and he was hiding it from John Harbaugh, and he finally came in, and you saw what happened. Harris was released after a game or something.
Yep.
But yeah, Boston.
We're talking about fireworks and guns tonight. Wow. It's an explosive show.
Yeah. So Boston this weekend coming to the Big A, and then Isaiah Monday off, but next week the Angels go to Texas 7, 8, 9, all night games, of course, and then the Angels go to Minnesota to face the Twins, and then it's the All-Star break. Thank God. So we'll see how the Angels compete, but again, they're not going to be selling, and they're not going to be winning. So the beat goes on, but it's the wrong beat. Oh, by the way, I kind of want to dive into the NBA. Just, I guess this would be my final thought, Isaiah, okay? Where the allegations for Malik Beasley, the videos keep coming out even more and more. And thanks to John Dado, where he breaks down the 4 games that Malik Beasley was in. And we remember last year, of course, with Terry Rozier just giving this game away because he wanted to be under 10 points or something. Or, yeah, I think it was that. Or Miami had to lose by whatever. But Malik Beasley, there's more footage of him like scoring late in the game, forcing himself to get rebounds late in the game when no one's trying. Just certain things like that like just make it guilty. like Jonte Porter, of course, was banned from the league. You have Rozier, who probably will be. Beasley should be. I don't know if I'm missing anybody else, but that
Chauncey
comes out
Billups.
even more. Chauncey Billups, yeah, but that's off the court, and it's in a fraud poker games that he was a part of. So, but this is on the court, and this is what I fear for. We had the Salisbury stuff happen in college, and it just screams to me like, hey, I wish we were back in like 2015 and before, where we didn't have, you know, countrywide betting on sports. I wish we were not in this. I wish that we didn't care about, point spreads, and then prop bets have really killed anybody's honesty, right? Because you could be you got to get under a certain or get over, and you'll have a player do something that really isn't normal. And Malik Beasley, we wonder why he had so much, energy in these games that they were showing. It's because he was trying to get his friend some money. And he owed $2,000 to somebody, and he said, "Hey, let me take care of it, but on the court. Let me go do this, and then you'll get your money." By the way, how do you not, if the money that he makes with his contract, how do you not have $2,000 to give that you owe? You should have that. That's where money management, and I hope, Isaiah, God willing, we just had the draft, right? And then we're going to have summer league. And it's the worst place. I just thought about this, Isaiah. It's the worst place to talk about gambling and its problems. But since all the rookies are going to be in Las Vegas for the summer league, I hope there's a class, there's a course where they go, over what is expected as a rookie and what to do and what not to do. And I hope this comes up, and I hope that fear is put into, all the new players in the NBA, where it's like, hey, I know we're in Vegas, I know everybody gambles here, but you're not going to. You're not going to become the players that are going to be, banned from the league. I just hope that's being, drilled into them, that like, hey, don't mess up your career. Don't do what these kids have done, and then what you've seen in other leagues. Don't get banned, basically. Again, shout out Halos in the Infield, Heating Network. I'm going to be doing a Substack soon, maybe a short. And I think I'll do a tier rating for the at the All-Star break to see where teams are, give them some grades. Angels, of course, would be a D. Coming in, of course. I just sports sucks right now, basically, for me, Isaiah.
Well, hey, you were gonna tell the viewers before, like you told me you were gonna tell the viewers about the Ducks off season. I mean, you got the Ducks, you got them. They made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, but that was last year. And
what's your thoughts on their off season so far? Because I know you missed that topic.
Without saying names, because I'm not as good with what has gone on, but the fact that Trouba, I know it was for a lot of money or whatever, but for him to go to, St. Louis. I wish it was St. Louis, San Jose. It just hurts, not only because you're here and you're in my ear like every damn day, I have to read your messages.
I sent you a bunch after that happened.
Yeah, I'm just shocked by that. But I know the Ducks are trying to get younger. They're trying to pick up more defense, and they did that. But the John Carlson issue, that's kind of been done, thank God. Who was it? There's some other moves that happened too.
Mason
John
McTavish
Carlson going to Tampa Bay. So he ended up going to Tampa Bay, John Carlson. That's crazy. The Ducks do have that 35.17 in cap, so they could still go out and make some moves. So they shouldn't be done. Let's just say that. They shouldn't be done, but we'll see. Leo Carlson, his offer sheet should be matched by the Ducks.
Oh,
I would
absolutely.
be really pissed if not. Radko Gudas ended up going to the Florida Panthers to be their, disruptor, or their what do you call it, enforcer, basically.
Yep.
So the games against Toronto, you'll watch that because of what he did to Austin Matthews and what the Leafs did to him when they went back to Anaheim. That should be something. AJ Greer did go from Florida to Anaheim. He's I think he's a defender, I want to say, but he's young. He's still 29 years old. The contract is a little more, but you're hoping that he brings just more energy to the team there for AJ Greer. What else happened? They extended AJ Greer with that move 4 years at 4.25. The other trade that happened, of course, the Ducks traded Noah Phillip for Kyle Masters. What else? AJ, that was the
Mason McTavish
trade. That was the other one. McTavish going to the St. Louis Blues for 2 first-round picks. That was interesting there. I don't know what they did with the draft picks, but and then Zellweger going from Anaheim to Buffalo, getting Anton Wahlberg and a second-round pick in this draft. Lots of movement with players that are well known. I think that's what scares Duck fans. Maybe I'm what do you call it? Very casual. Like I know the players' names kind of. So that's what's kind of not confusing, but you're like, okay, who are we getting back? And then are they going to be better than who left? So that's what I'm wondering with the Ducks without saying names. Are they done? Are they going to go out and make some more moves? Not trades, but free agent signings, and who's out there. So just tune in with that. I hope the Sharks are done with their moves. You went through it all, and I hope
we're never making predictions again, because I mean, you made the prediction with Alex Manoah to the Angels. I was like, please God, let Darnell Nurse not be a Shark, and what happened? Both of them end up happening. Oh, did you say something about Anderson as well? Tim Anderson with you were like, oh, that would be such an Angels move, and they ended up doing it.
Yeah, because like I said with the Perry talk I had with you, that they just seem to shop at the Dollar Tree for players that are just not thought of anymore. Think about it. They had 2 White Sox players that were really thought of in Chicago, right? You had Makata, a little bit this year out of spring training, but he got hurt in the regular season. And then you had Tim Anderson before. So they're going after players, they're going after projects that didn't work out elsewhere. And their careers are over once they get to Anaheim. Drew Pomeranz, they released him for nothing. I actually had that. You know what's crazy? I had my predictions for Halos in the Infield. They were saying, like, give your predictions on how the season will go, and then, what the players are going to do. You want to hear some of them?
Sure.
So I said Logan O'Hoppe will disappoint, and he kind of has. Mike Trout will get hurt in late May, and he got hurt. I think oh God, when did he get hurt? He got hurt in June. So I said this. I said in late May, Mike Trout will get hurt and will miss June and the rest of the season with a nagging knee injury. But this was a hamstring this year. But look at the timing of it. It's like we all know he'll play a couple of months, and he's playing outfield too. So or center field. So you have more of a shot to get hurt. So that's why I thought, okay, he's only going to last what he always does. Yohan Moncada will be released by August, and he was released last month. So there you go. Jorge Soler will be released as well by August, as both players underperform. he has really underperformed. I think the best thing he's done as an Angel was get into that fight with Lopez, Ronaldo Lopez of Atlanta, which I missed that fight by a day because I went to the Monday game and that brawl happened on Tuesday. So that's funny to think. But look at this. I said Drew Pomerantz will be released in June as he'll have more walks than strikeouts and he'll retire at the end of the year. Boom, it happened.
He actually signed with the Cubs recently.
And I was going to say this, but I didn't. I said, watch him go to a playoff team and be on a playoff roster. And boom, it could happen with the Cubs. And I should have said it, but I was hesitant. I'm like, what does Drew Pomerantz bring to another team? Well, if he goes to somewhere where he's been before, like the Cubs, they could find what he did before well and fix it. Just like that. And boom, it's going to happen. Adam Frazier will be released in May. He's still on the team, but he's up and down. Reed Detmers for struggle being back in the rotation. I was wrong on that, of course. He's been the best starter. Let's see. Shawnee will be plagued by the launch angle and hit under 250. He's one of those players at first base. He's expected to hit more home runs, but he's a line drive hitter. So he's at the worst position right now. Jose Soriano will have 175 plus strikeouts. That still could happen. Kahana Wentz actually got hurt. I said he would drop his ERA by 1, and I believe he's out with Tommy John or elbow surgery, so we won't see him for a while. Zach Nettle will have 30 plus home runs, 150 plus hits, and 75 RBIs. He could still get to that 30 home run total, but the hits and the RBIs maybe won't be there because he strikes out a ton. He is all or nothing. Josh Lowe, who's been sit down a couple of months for that, but he will have 20 home runs and 60 RBIs. He has 2 home runs right now. And Joe Adele will have 40 plus homers this year. He right now has way less than, or he's not on track to have 40. I don't think he's on track to have, I think he's on track to maybe have 30. I think he has 13 or 14. So I'm going to be wrong on that. But those are some of the predictions where it's like everyone else had great, that all these players are going to do well or whatever. I'm the one that will tell you, hey, it's not going to happen. Don't worry about it. Don't go over the moon about certain players because you're just wishing that that's going to happen. And none of them will get traded because Artie doesn't want that. So
Of course.
that's all I got, Isaiah. Let's end it with your final thought and whatever this was.
Yeah, it was a great show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Appreciate Callan for jumping on early on, talk hockey.
Didn't you like that?
Oh my God.
I got Mr. Hockey on to make sure that he says better things than I would, of course.
I mean,
I
do you have
sure that happened.
Do you have a quick thing about Bedard getting hurt again? Injury prone?
Well, remember we talked, I think, on the phone or something about, he could have one more bad year and one out. Well, that might stop that.
He's in line for a contract right now. He's a restricted free agent. So,
I think Blackhawk fans have already been just pissed off with what that trade that they made recently. And they're just waiting for even more worse things to happen. But again, let me say this too. The same owner owns the White Sox. And shout out to the White Sox. They're shocking everybody, just like the Nationals. But the White Sox hate these bomb home runs. They're just having so much fun. So other from that, I don't know much more about hockey, except Con Bedard, when will enough be enough in Chicago before he wants out?
Yeah, I think that's what we're watching for. Keeping an eye on the McDavid situation and then the Bedard situation. The two Connors. Who knows which one will want out first. But yeah, I think my final thoughts is it was a great show. I do want to say the NHL should be ashamed of themselves for spoiling the number 1 pick in that NHL draft. I mean, literally when the commissioner said the Toronto Maple Leafs are on the clock. You go ahead and show Gavin McKenna, who's on the phone with Toronto. Like, come on, man. You never see the NFL do that with Joe Burrow. Remember when Joe Burrow was everybody knew he was going to be the number 1 pick in 2020. You never saw him on the phone when they opened the draft, or Cooper Flagg last year. You saw Cooper Flagg open up like the draft, like looking up, like, what? What's going on? Like, you never really saw that. So the NHL just shoots themselves in the foot. I do want to give a shout out though. Vancouver, James. I don't know if you saw this. The dad, Malhotra, became the coach, and he drafted his son, Caleb Malhotra, with the number 3 overall pick. So it's like a Doc Rivers, Austin Rivers situation, but more talented, I guess, in Vancouver.
That's always cool when you keep it in the family, especially in hockey.
Right. And also, like we talked about in the beginning, shout out to Alex Ovechkin. He's coming back for year number 22, the legend. I know
look, you saw him. You saw him this year too.
I did
last season. I didn't realize. I heard that yesterday in the show. As the show spanned 2 days, but I forgot you went to see him. Did you see him early in the year, like me in December when they were out here?
I think I saw it. I think I saw him in November. I know they beat us like 7-1 or something.
So it was the same trip. It was the same road trip, probably.
Yes. Because they went down to
in so long.
Right. They went down to wait, was that the first hockey game you went to? The Capitals against the Ducks?
Like, this season, I went to a Ducks game and a Kings game. But the Ducks game was 2018 and the Kings game was 2019, I want to say. And that was the first time I saw McDavid with the Oilers. They were against the Kings.
Wow.
And then what was funny with the Ducks and Stars in 2018, it was Fan Appreciation Night. The Ducks were already in the playoffs. The Stars were not. And then it seemed like right after that year, both teams switched spots. The Stars were going to the playoffs every year. And the Ducks, remember, before last year, they didn't make the playoffs before since 2018. So it's weird how those things interact. Okay, so the games I went to this last season, it was both shootouts and overtime, and the Ducks both won. And then they both went on long losing streaks after. I always remember that. But it was cool seeing Ovechkin along with John Carlson, not knowing that he was going to be a Duck. And the fans were cool. The Washington fans, and then I saw Montreal in March. The fans were great. Like the Canadian folks too, the Canadians. Oh, they were just wonderful people. They were buying beers with people. Like they were not like mad that they lost the game. It was just a great atmosphere in both games, man. And like I said to you, with watching more Duck games because it was free on Victory Plus here on my phone, I really learned a lot more about the Duck games and the players. And then those overtimes are something, man. When it's 3-on-3, 5 minutes, first goal wins, sudden death. And then especially when a team commits a penalty, then it's, basically 3-on-2. And the Ducks had to defend a 3-on-2 for 2 minutes of an overtime against Montreal, and they did it all year long. As I'm talking hockey, and I shouldn't be, but what's his name?
You're getting there though, as a hockey fan. You are getting there.
I hope so. What's his name? Lacombe. I forget his first name. Jeremy Lacombe, Jacob Lacombe, some Lacombe. But he was just a great defender. And that was the first. I don't watch much, like I said, but this year I did. He was literally diving on the ice, putting a stick out, putting a leg out, trying to stop a goal. Like Lacombe is just amazing for the Ducks, and I'm happy that they made the playoffs. Everyone needed that here. Like, not saying nobody cared, but it's like with all the losing, it kind of felt like people were losing interest with like the Angels, right? But the ownership, the Samuelis have made it orange country. And then even I got hooked. And I was like, you know what? I want to be a part of something that isn't LA and that's winning. And the Ducks brought that. And I was so happy. I always have the Clippers, LA, San Diego. but I'll never be a fan of anything else, right? So I'm just happy that fans got to experience playoffs, but we're all kind of like, hey, we don't want this to be just a one and done deal. We want more. And hopefully, again, the free agency will happen. I just want to go back to some games. Like, hopefully, we'll all meet up at a game.
Sharks, Ducks. I know.
I'm down.
Schedule is coming out, I think, in 2 weeks. It's going to be an 84-game season, and then the season apparently is going to start in. Yeah, season's going to start in early September or late September.
Yeah.
From what I've heard.
Mentioned that. I was trying to remember how many games they added on, just 2 more games, but that just means more travel, dude. And already they're not getting paid as much. Like you mentioned with the Nerf's contract, he gets paid $9 million, and that's considered, is that the highest or one of the highest contracts?
That's one of the highest, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
$40 million in NBA terms.
And they're the toughest, athletes, definitely, or pain threshold. They're definitely the toughest, but they get paid the least out of all the major sports. So, I think that's what I admire about them more, is that they're just tough and they deserve to get paid more. And I think hockey has just blossomed, especially here with the Ducks. Getting that first round win over Edmonton, and then unfortunately, bowing down to the Knights and having them go to the finals. Good that the Canes won. I was happy about the Hurricanes winning. They haven't won since 2006, and they've been thriving and trying since 2019 to get in and get back to the finals. But yeah, I think I'm more into hockey than I've ever been, and I think you're a part of that. Calvin, of course, is a part of that. And I have a friend who used to go to all the games for the Ducks. He introduced me more into hockey.
Yep.
And then, hopefully I can continue that. I just love how cold it is at the games. I love that, dude. It is amazing. I want to sit high up again to just see everything. I loved where I sat last year. I was talking to somebody there at the Honda Center, and I said, I'd be interested in some plans.
Wow.
So we'll see if I get, like an 8-game plan or something like that. Like really, really think about that, because when you think about it, Isaiah, we probably won't have baseball. So late in March, when there's no spring training games, or late February into March, you're not gonna have spring training. And then when the season's supposed to start late March, you still have NHL going. So when you really think about it, it's like you got to have something to fill that void. And, I'll be interested in that. Oceanside here is going to have a team in the independent league. I'm going to watch more of that and try to get cold over there. So, I never thought I'm not a hockey crazy fan, but I never thought I would be at least in this predicament right here, right now.
No, I'm the same thing. Like, I never thought that I would be into hockey, but like I've said before, like I think it's all thanks to Macklin Celebrini, because just to see the generational talent there, and it's like, wow, I've been a part of the draft and to follow his journey, and then it got me hooked. Like, and here's the thing, James, is like both of our teams are kind of on the same trajectory. Like, you guys are like maybe a year ahead of us right now, but like young teams that, you guys made the playoffs for the first time after a long time. We're trying to do the same. We got young studs on both sides. So I think this is going to be a rivalry like that's going to maybe like the next 10 years, hopefully. So you have one more thing to add?
One thing I have to mention with the NBA, a couple of things I should say, and it just reminded me of what I would watch here. So in the G League, they have a 1 free throw rule. Have you heard about this, Isaiah? Where when you get fouled and it's not under 2 minutes in the second quarter, fourth quarter, you have 1 free throw for 2 shots, 1 free throw for 3 shots. And the Summer League is going to experiment with that. But as much as I love it for the G League here with the Clippers, they shouldn't have that for the NBA because you need, first of all, it would be less ad time because now whenever there's Prime or ABC, ESPN, in between free throws, you have a DoorDash ad or you have a car ad or theaters or movie in theaters coming out. So you have to have that ad time. But the game would be faster. But it seems like Adam Silver is just really man, he's experimenting with all these things like the in-season tournament that nobody gives a damn about. Also, Kyle Lowry retired yesterday. He signed a 1-day contract to retire with the Toronto Raptors. I'm guessing he'll definitely have his number retired up at I don't know what they call it anymore, but the Air Canada Center. We'll see if that happens. Him and DeRozan were just fun together, from what I remembered. They just never could get past LeBron, of course, in the East, and then when he was with Miami too. But those two were so much fun together, and it was right after they lost Chris Bosh. They weren't going in the direction, and then they got those two together, and they were so much fun. Like it seems like they never had a bad day with each other. Just two opposites too. Lowry's kind of a fun guy, and DeRozan's kind of serious. So shout out to those two. I hope both get their number retired in Toronto. But yeah, that's some other news from the NBA. I just love this time of year, Isaiah, more than the regular season because of all the NBA moves, the possibilities. I can't wait for what happens this morning or by July 6th. We'll see some more things happen. I just want to get to that point because we've had some crazy moves. It's almost like a 2K trade simulator or GM, and it's like all these moves are happening that you would never think. And I like to think it started with Luka and the Lakers, last season or 2 seasons ago, and here we went.
Exactly. I mean, it's insane what's happening in the NBA. Hockey is kind of getting there a little bit. But maybe the Ducks will make some moves. I know they are interested in Jason Robertson from the Dallas Stars. So maybe you'll land another big time star right there. But James, it's been a long night, but man, I think the next show we're gonna do is probably Sports Weekly next week, trying to keep it every Thursday. So make sure you guys tune in. We're gonna
By the way, fix your YouTube description because it still says another network and another show that I know you're not part of. Please change that and promote yourself even more.
Well, speaking of that, I do want to drop this. There is a chance, ladies and gentlemen, that myself and my old co-host Adam Barber might be bringing back Kicking It. So we just want to throw that out there and tease it. But yeah, it's been a great show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. A lot of explosive fireworks coming on tonight. With quick happy triggers. Happy birthday, America. Happy July 4th, everybody, or early July 4th. Hopefully you guys all, party, but also keep it safe. But until then, guys, James and I will see you guys later. We're gonna go to bed now. The fireworks, we're gonna stop those fireworks tonight, or stop those fireworks for now. But until then, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy birthday, America. That is such a fuck. Fuck the phones. Like, you gotta be fucking